Yah righteousness, Jerusalem, and the Holy Seed. Peace, everybody. Yah bless. This is June the 4th, 2022. This is the Q&A. Okay, just trying to get things set up here. Hope everybody is great. Our national, international audience. Yah bless. Peace. And I pray that you are all beamed into the session and were underscoring the fulfillments of prophecy that were pointed out. As usual, it's even more now. And we're at a more critical stage prophetically, as you see, and doing my best to point out how things are becoming more insane, more critical, and as I point out toward the end of the session, about the water rising on the three coasts of this daughter Babylon, and I was specifically talking about the southern coast, but kind of the southeastern coast. But again, as you heard the guy, I quoted him as saying he didn't think, he thought he had some time. He didn't know it was going to happen as fast as it has happened with this water rising. But again, what did y'all say? He was going to hasten in the time of his servant. It's at the back end of chapter 62, Yeshaya, I think it is, or matter of fact, chapter 60, back end of chapter 60. Again, I got away from the point I was making about Cain in the session. What Yah says over there in Exodus about, judging the children, the iniquity of their fathers to the third and fourth generation. Again, that's if the children continue on in the way of their fathers and mothers who preceded them, right? And persist in iniquity, idolatries, what have you. Then they will be judged, accordingly, as their fathers, mothers were judged. So that's why it's so imperative. It's up to us today to break that cycle, bring it into, doing what our fathers and mothers did, and that's basically what we see in Leviticus chapter 26, right? 40, 41, and 42. We have to acknowledge the iniquity of our fathers and mothers, going all the way back, and we have to acknowledge our iniquity and accept of our punishment for what we have done individually. And then, as we turn, those of us who do actually, submit and turn and embrace the law of Yah with all our heart and soul. Again, Deuteronomy 30, verse 2. Because again, that's how we attack our enemies, right? Who and whomever they may be, but definitely the illuminated Edomites, right? That's how we attack them, by turning back to Yah with all our heart and soul. And as it says in that Deuteronomy chapter 30, then Yah will take all of the curses that he had put on us because of what our forefathers refused to do, right? And we inherited that as we came into the world, being the descendants of Israel. And he will put all of those curses on our enemies, right? And also what he said he would do to the descendants of Esau, he would take all the wisdom and understanding out of all of them, right? That's in the one chapter by Obadiah. So that's, again, that's why Cain was told, right? When his offering wasn't accepted, just because he was the son of the snake, the man who beguiled Eve. And again, I've mentioned it in the past, YHWH we were talking, and they said to me a couple years ago, that Eve had to be, in other words, similar to Rebecca, right? Eve didn't know the law. She was learning the law, but she didn't know all of it. She might have known, just so much. That's why she was able to be beguiled, right? Because when you've been beguiled, you've been deceived, right? Those of us who know the law, right? Those of us who are knowledgeable of the law, and again, I said last session, probably none of us actually know all of the laws, you know what I'm saying, by heart, right? But we know to put Yah before us continuously, to acknowledge him in all our ways, and anything that comes up with a red flag or gets presented to us, and we're not sure about it, we know where to go, right, in this book of remembrance to find out, how whatever it is that's presented to us, where lies in regards to the law of Yah. We know where to go to find it out. And again, we're in contact with the movement of the Most High, and again, we counseled, various ones of us counseled, right? And we know where to go, and we definitely know how to pray toward Jerusalem, pray to Yah, and ask him for illumination, wisdom, and understanding about a thing, right? And we wait on Yah to bring it. You follow me? So again, Eve, for instance, she was probably, without a doubt, younger than Adam, and she didn't know the law to the greater degree. She was learning possibly, but had a willing mind and a willing heart. But when she was approached by this snake, this human being who was subtle, who knew the law, and he was able to, just like the illuminated Edomites coming up through time, all the way, up until the time, up to this day per se, right? They knew the law, and they knew how to circumvent it. They knew how to take the people astray, how to deceive the people, beguile the people, right? And that's what that person did to Eve. He beguiled her. He deceived her, and caused her to sin, right? That's why Yah did what he did to him, caused him to crawl on his belly for the rest of his days, right? And again, we see later on, evidently, Adam acknowledged, humbled himself. We don't see any mention of Eve other than she conceived again, right? So she, more likely, she did the same thing, without a doubt, right? She acknowledged her sin, humbled herself, and then, we see what happened, because, again, from that, we see man now had to till the ground. You know what I'm saying? And we see, that Noah and his sons come out of Adam. You understand what I'm saying? So they had to till the ground from then on. I mean, like the code has said to me, the earth initially had to be a terrarium. Pretty sure I got that right. Terrarium, where it was self-sustaining. Man didn't have to plant anything. Things grew on their own. The wheat, the vegetables, the fruits, they grew on their own. Man didn't have to till the ground. But once he sinned, and that was, put on man, from that point, now we have to till the ground. We have to, break open the ground, plant seed, harvest, and whatnot. And that's from now on, right? Possibly, maybe man was too idle. Okay, it's like these children today, right? Any parents that really have concern about their children, they do their best to try to keep them occupied with something that is, you know, something that's enhancing, you know, something that's not detrimental. You know what I mean? They don't occupy the children with video games and TV where they're going to see and participate in a bunch of nonsense. You know, like I said, I'm pretty sure last session before last, you know, like, you know, my manicurist and another sister who works up in my manicurist shop, you know, said to me, you know, the reason why a lot of these young Israelite brothers get into this carjacking, because that's the game they played. I forget what they call it. Something about carjacking, you know, and that's they learned that stuff when they little. So Grand Theft Auto, Yada just told me. So they learn this nonsense, and so that's what when they get older, they want to perpetrate it, you know. And they've had some of these young children at 11 and 13, I kid you not, here in Chicago, into carjacking, because this is what they participate in these video games. You know, and they want to shoot guns, and they have video games where they shooting guns, you know. It's really ridiculous, but this is how the children have been programmed, you know, especially Israelite children, very impressionable, right? And they see this nonsense on the screen or in some kind of video game, and they think they can perpetrate this, you know, in real life. More likely, some of these Caucasians, like I said, Edomites, youth, they're the same way. Possibly, like I said, Manchurian candidates might have been, you know, MK Ultra, right, in the program. And some of them just, they've been anesthetized in their minds with this nonsense, and they come out and perpetrate this as well. This is all the nonsense. This is, again, you know, the 817 Uremia, right? Been bitten by serpents and cockatrices that cannot be charmed. And again, this is the degradation that has become pervasive in this fourth dominion of man, which is the dominion that the illuminated Edomites, right, have risen to the dominion and have inculcated all this nonsense predicated on death and destruction, the sword, in the minds and the hearts of human beings. And, you know, because man is sunken so deep into idolatries and become so depraved, you know, now you have all of this nonsense going on constantly. And this is what happens in a moral bankrupt system, you know, that is devoid of any illumination and knowledge of the Father, their creator, Yah of hosts. So again, this is what we're in. As it says in that Uremia chapter 30 verse 7, it's a time of trouble, never been since it's been a nation. Those of us who have sought Yah out in this fishing period, because we desired peace and or truth and or righteousness and or salvation from up under and out of this demonic satanic oppressive system that overspreads the earth. We have sought or desired the knowledge of the Creator. We looking for the true and living Creator. Then Yah has brought us to Him, directed us to Him, brought us to Him in this book of remembrance. And again, that's why He's given out the illumination to fulfill His word, to establish His government in captivity, which would be called by His name, predicated upon His laws, statutes, ordinances, judgments, commandments, and precepts. As it says in the book, He shall, you know, it shall suddenly spring forth. Shall ye not know it? Because again, those who are knowledgeable of Yah's word, it's recognizable, right? Even though you have some that try to still obfuscate that and you know, change it, still the book is what it is. You can't change it, you know what I mean? And that's why, again, it's near everybody on the face of the earth. Again, 46:13 Yeshua and 51:5 Yeshua. And that's, as I said in this session, that's what this movement has been doing since its inception. And since, Yah has brought it out into the sight of the people, directing everybody to read the book themselves, okay, to substantiate and confirm or invalidate, okay, because it's times when I'm wrong. It's just like in the session, I couldn't remember Evo Morales. Yah bless Rivka, I saw you put it up there. And the lithium, which was, I've talked about it in the past, but, sometimes my mind is so much in my mind, I can't grab something that I've spoken of before or read, but generally Yah brings it back around. But again, that's why all of you have to be reading and studying and doing your homework, yourselves, so that, there's times when I might misremember or not remember something or not know anything. Maybe you can tell me, okay, because we're all in this together, right? And as I pray to Yah, he has brought us together spiritually and mentally wherever you are on the face of the earth. Again, our national and international audience, hopefully soon he'll bring us together spiritually, mentally, and physically, and bring us, lead us to Jerusalem in the sight of everybody on the earth, as it's written, when he's consecrated and anointed as king over the whole earth. When he humbles this Leviathan, the illuminated Edomite that runs this country, runs the land of Israel, got many of these Western nations in a chokehold. That's why right now we see it's like six countries that have refused to pay Russia in rubles. So Russia has cut the gas off, okay? Poland, Germany, Finland, the Netherlands, Sweden, and Bulgaria. Russia's, cut the gas off. Now, what they say about Germany is supposed to be, they say that they've cut the shell off. So it's kind of like Germany is kind of straddling the fence right now. They're getting something from Russia, but they're not getting everything they were getting. Okay? Because again, this is, as we were listening yesterday, Yada and myself, to Peter Lavelle and Crosstalk. For those of you who go to RT International, you can pull up Peter Lavelle Crosstalk and listen to yesterday's session. It was very, very pertinent and enlightening in regards to, when you listen to Peter Lavelle and his three guests. One of them was Pepe Escobar, who's over in Paris, and another person who's in Florida, and John Luango, I think his name was, and then another guy that was in New York. I think his last name was Butel. But if you get a chance, listen to that conversation, because they were like, these Western European nations that are following America in these sanctions and getting their gas cut off, and oil stopped by Russia. They're destroying themselves. Okay, and for what? Okay, because again, they pointed out, and they can see it plain, how America doesn't care about them at all. And when they were saying this, talking, and we were listening, I thought about what that Victoria Nuland said here the other month. It came up about the EU, and she said, used a real a real perverse term in regards to the EU, and the word she used started with an F. So I'm pretty sure all of you know what that word was, right? 4 letters, starts with an F, ends with a K, and that's what she said about, in regards to the EU. Okay, so that's what they think about, right? But nevertheless, these nations are destroying themselves by refusing to pay Russia in rubles. And Russia, like I said in the session, the Russian diplomat we saw here a few days ago before I did the session, matter of fact, I think it was that same morning before I did the session, You know, he said if they don't pay us in rubles, we're going to turn them off. It's just that simple. So these countries are actually destroying themselves. And as Peter LaBelle pointed out in the conversation yesterday, this is what America does to its so-called allies. It doesn't care about its allies at all. Okay? So we're seeing this, you know, and again, we're seeing this ramp up, right? It's you know, moving along in an exponential manner. But again, how long are these nations actually going to do this? Because again, when we look at Jeremiah chapter 50 and 51, you know, Yah says there that no country is going to be with this country. This country is going to be totally by itself, and that's getting more apparent every day, because again, see, it's getting warmer, a little warmer over there in Europe now, right? So some of these nations, they can maybe do without some heat per se. They can turn on the space heater, but you know, a lot of the people I know in these countries are highly upset, right, at what their government is doing and the position their government is putting them in, right? But again, you know, a lot of them, when the oil and the gas shuts off, they're not going to have electricity either. You follow me? So that means no electricity, no lights. I mean, whatever they had in the refrigerator or the freezer is going to spoil unless they pack it in ice and get something to be able to hold that cold to keep those things, you know. But more than likely, plenty of people going to lose a lot of money, especially at a time of exponential inflation. You follow me? So they're getting hit from every side. Okay, how long are they going to be able to maintain that stance before you get major uprisings in these nations against their governments, right? And from what the prophecy so states, and again, as we just and have been pointing out fulfillments of prophecy through the years, now these prophecies are being fulfilled, even like I said, at a greater speed, in a more pervasive manner, where it's very apparent prophecies being fulfilled. These prophecies, those of us who know the word of Yah, right, and who understand it, we can see these prophecies without question being fulfilled. So now, how long are these nations going to go along? How long these governments are going to allow or even be able to go along with this illuminated Edomite that is, you know, got them under these chokeholds before, as we've seen coming up through the CEADs, right? The nations become aware of what Esau, these illuminated Amalekite Edomites are doing to them with their schemes and scams and whatnot. And how long are they going to go along with this before they, as we've seen in the past, like we've talked about, right, rise up in unison against their governments and against this illuminated Edomite, right, and allow them to do this before the government's going to be displaced and or they're going to have to submit to the will of the people. You see what I'm saying? See, but again, when we look at this in regards to the word of Yah, right? As I said in the past, you can fool some of the people some of the time, some of the people all the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time, right? And again, the people would always get wise at some point to what's been done to them, and then they would rise up in unison, right? And then when the monarchy was not getting what they needed the people to do, okay, because as I said in the past, you know, like Dr. John Coleman, who wrote the Committee of 300 States, you know, when it comes to these monarchies, they look, you know, they own everything, they own everybody, right? So, you know, they didn't have machines back then. You know, we were the machines and the people of those nations were the machines. Well, they got machines now, but you still have an abundance of people, right? More likely than not, this is why the illuminated Edomite has come out with the pandemic, because they're trying to get rid of people. Okay. Just like, I don't know how many of you, possibly all of you might have seen in the room what Rivka put up in regards to this monkeypox, right? I knew what they were saying wasn't true. I said that in the session. But if you looked and saw what Rivka put up about the monkeypox, she put down a site where you can go there and see it for yourself, read it for yourself. But this comes from one of the Pfizer shot. And the monkeypox is a side effect. Okay, autoimmune, blistering, process. You know what I mean? That is a side effect of the Pfizer shot. Okay, that's what the monkeypox, and that figures right. They got to try to make why people who have taken the shot now, they start blistering, which is a side effect. Oh, that's the monkeypox. You understand what I'm saying? Some more lies and deception. You see what I'm saying? Just like Othniel, Yah bless Othniel, he put up earlier, I don't know, those of you who might not be in the room, Othniel put up about this torrential rain down there in Miami. You follow me? 12 inches of rain has dropped, like in the way it sounds like in a few hours, right? And I mean, Miami's already sinking. We've talked about that in the past. So Yah is at work, you see. And those of us who know the word of Yah, who understand it, we can see Yah's hand at work. Okay? So now, how long is it going to be for these people? Again, when we look at the first vision Daniel had, what did Gabriel tell? When one of the angels asked Gabriel, how long is it going to be? Because Gabriel had told him, he told Daniel when Daniel said, but my Lord, I don't understand. Because he didn't understand that first vision. This is the first vision he ever got. And what did Gabriel tell him? Go thy way, Daniel, for what? The book is sealed to the time of the end. Right? The end of these 4 dominions of man. Men shall run to and fro. And what? Knowledge shall be increased. Right? So this is what's happening now. Right? Knowledge has and is being increased. Because again, when we look at the 1 chapter by you, right? What did Yah say? How are thy hidden things, secret things? Talking about the Edomites, right? Sought up and searched out, O Esau. You follow me? But it's not until this book of remembrance has come into being, has actually been read, studied, and understood by the purveyor of truth and righteousness, right? Illumination, which again is Yah's government, right? Yeshaya 9:6, which Yah said what it would be called. Yah our righteousness, right? You remember chapter 23, you remember chapter 33, right? Because again, in 33, when the movement is brought back out of captivity straight to Jerusalem, not long after it's brought back, then Jerusalem will be called Yah our righteousness. That's the 33rd chapter of Jeremiah, correct? And it'll be called that until the book is totally fulfilled. And once the book is totally fulfilled, and after the last battle, right? And everybody who will be left on the earth in this, first dominion, which is Yah's dominion, which will be the everlasting dominion. Everybody that will be left on the earth will be totally committed and submitted to Yah, and will know unequivocally, that Yah is He who creates, right? Like we see in Jeremiah chapter 16 at the back end. What did Yah say that the Gentiles are going to say? In the last days, they're going to say, you understand, surely we have inherited lies and vanity and things wherein there is no profit. Shall a man make idols unto himself, and they are not Yah? Right? So We've got more and more people awakening to the fact that Yah is the Most High. We got more and more people awakening to the fact that these illuminated Edomites are attacking them. You follow what I'm saying? At the same time, Yah has drained the wisdom and understanding out of the mouth of Esau, right? They're doing stupid things. I mean, really stupid and egregious, insane things. And like I said, if you look at that crosstalk yesterday by Peter Lavelle, listen to the conversation between him and his three guests, that's what they're talking about. How this is so inane, what, the powers that be are doing. And in regards to America, they bring forth how, America thinks they're still running everything. They still think they're relevant to the nations of the earth, which again, these nations have risen up. They're setting up their own monetary system so that they don't have to go through the SWIFT. They're not dealing with the dollar, right? You understand what I'm saying? America's not relevant. These nations that want to hang with America and saying that they're not going to use Russian oil and Russian gas, Russia's like, fine. You don't want to pay us in rubles? You won't get it. Get it from where you can. Now, as I said toward the end of the session, right, little old bitty article, and they're talking about America's talking to Maduro of Venezuela, right? See, but the way what they had was, it's not, it's not consummated yet, but it probably is, possibly, you know what I mean? Like if Maduro is, in my mind, what he should be, as I said in the session, he's like, hey, we'll sell you all the oil you want, but we're not taking any dollars. And you got to give us back that 400 some tons of gold you hold in the ours. You got to give us that, right? You got to lift all the sanctions, right? And we'll sell you all the oil you want, but we're not taking anything but, rubles, renminbis, and gold. Okay? If he's, if he's what he should be, that's what he's telling. You follow what I'm saying? Because I was telling Yada, as we were sitting here, it sounds like what we're going to be telling everybody in the near future, right? When Yah brings us back, right? And we go through the attack, once we start cleansing Jerusalem of all idolatry, and Yah gets rid of the 2/3 that will be in the land, no matter what they say, that's really not about him, whose heart's really not circumcised to Yah in the foreskin of their heart, regardless to what they might say, right? Yeshaya 26 verse 10. And once he does that, and that third is left, that's when we become the beacon on the hill, the light to the world, right? And so that's when Yah starts to really bring, clean us up, cleanse our blood that has not been cleansed, Zechariah 13:1. And in the process, we finish the cleansing of Jerusalem of all idolatry, and at the completion of that, then these nations who Yah will work through, in my mind, to bring, him back, his movement back in the sight of everybody on the earth, and his consecration and anointing as king over all the earth, right? That's when they'll come and start building, laying the foundation and building this third and last temple, right? In the process, Yah will be bringing back the land, because we can't eat anything, you understand, that's grown until what, the 5th year of our return. The land has to go through a cleansing period, right? Like it's in the law. So we don't eat anything that, that grows or whatever thing, you know what I mean, for the first 3 years, and then I think it's like the 4th year or something, and then in the 5th year, right, we can start eating of the crops of the land. But over the period of time, Yah will bring back the land. It will become like the Garden of Eden, correct? We're going to be selling food, right, to the nations. But as I've said in the past, we're not going to be taking any cryptocurrency, without question. We're not going to be taking any paper fiat currencies, no matter if they back gold. We're not taking any of that, right? We're not taking any plastic, right? We're taking gold, silver, copper, brass, diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, right? Carbuncles, agates. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we're going to be taking. You know what I mean? Something, some tangible things on that order. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we're going to be taking. Okay? For the food. See? And they can buy it or not. That'll be up to them. Okay? See? So, this is kind of like what Russia's doing now. You understand, in regards to the ruble. Okay? Because if you listen to that Peter Lavelle conversation with his 3 guests yesterday, they mentioned about, because it's mentioned how China really, they can't really do what Russia's doing right now, because they're intertwined so much with America, right now. They could do it, you know what I mean? But it kind of sounds like I've said in the past, China doesn't want to really take that hit that they would have to take right now. But they're moving towards it. I'm sure they're gonna do it, at some point. Okay, and again, as I've said in the past, the Illuminated Edomite, they kill everybody here trying to destroy this movement, trying to destroy us. This possibly could be what is in the back or the front of their mind. Okay, why they don't care about attacking us. And they definitely don't care about these Caucasians and other people here, but they definitely want to get rid of this Yah righteousness movement and those of us who are totally committed and submitted to Yah. But again, as I mentioned in the session, again about Malcolm and King and the Kennedys, right? They went up against the Illuminated Edomite, but they had no protection. They were in idolatry. Okay? Again, like I mentioned in this session, again, right? Israel's youngest daughter, or only daughter, Diane, right? When they, when he came back to the land of Canaan, right? And his Diane, his daughter, only daughter, out conversing and cavorting with the maidens of the land, right? Amorites and Hittites, you understand what I'm saying? Canaanites. She's out there and started participating in some form of idolatry. That's why when Shechem saw her, he could take her and rape her, because now Yah is not what? He's not her shield. You see? He's not her shield. Okay? Just like you could look at Eve, right? She learned the law, but she didn't know it. You understand? Totally. That's why she could be beguiled. You can't beguile someone who actually has the law in their heart. Now they can go away from Yah, like our forefathers did, right? Not that they were beguiled. They just didn't want to serve Yah anymore. Isn't that right? They didn't want Yah being king over them anymore. They wanted the king of flesh, right? You follow me? How silly is that, right? But that's how silly our forefathers were. You follow what I'm saying? So, as long as we're with Yah, again, Deuteronomy 30 verse 2, with all our heart and all our soul, Yah is our strength. He's our shield. He's our protection, night and day. Okay, Yada, we were talking last night. Matter of fact, not last night, this morning. And I said to her, people just don't understand how imperative it is that you serve Yah. Because Yah, he knows what's going to happen. He knows it all, right? We don't. You know what I mean? We know what Yah has told us. And that's for those of us who understand prophecy, right? We substantiate and confirm the past, as we do when we do the newspaper articles on the sessions, right? It's past. I don't care if it was yesterday. It's past, right? And when I say that, those of you get a chance to look at Democracy Now!, on the 3rd, yesterday, Friday. Watch that Democracy Now! Too. It's interesting. But nevertheless, we talk about past events that, we can see fulfilled prophecy that Yah talked about, 2,700 years ago, 3,000 years ago, 3,500 years ago, You follow me? Because everything is before Yah. So, you understand what I'm saying? When you're with Yah, he directs you, as it says in the book. He directs us in the way that we should go. He directs us in how, the way that we can profit, in an upright manner. Not doing those things I used to do, you know what I'm saying? Leading up to January 83. Okay? When Azariah said what he said to me, and I could see myself. Okay? And then I knew what I had to do. And I didn't get myself in, totally 180 degree submission commitment until October 83. But as I said before, then about not quite 2.5 years later, that's when Yah revealed to me what the name of the movement had to be in accordance with his word. Because this is what people look at. All right? You understand what I'm saying? They go into this book and look and see if they can see that Yah, our righteousness. You see? You follow me? And quite naturally, you have to do some studying, do some homework, right? But as we said in the past, as I said in this session, between the 4th and the 9th century, CEAD, that's when these Edomites called the Mezerites, right? Somewhere in between there, that's when they took Yah's name out of the book, in 6,823 places, replaced it with El, right? Adonai, that evolved into God and Lord. So, when it says the Lord our righteousness is Yah our righteousness, I mean, that's how simplistic can that be? You follow me? Now, you got people out there that want to quibble with it, want to fight with it, or whatever, want to try to change it. But it is what it is, you see? And that's what these elite who are going to come and get the movement of Most High to bring it to Yah in the sight of everybody on the earth. 52nd chapter Yeshaya, chapter 60 Yeshaya, Daniel 7:13. Okay, that's the book. That's what we're waiting on. Because that's the anointing and consecration of Yah. Just like he anointed himself when he brought our forefathers out of Egypt. The name of Yah, blew up and spread. You understand what I'm saying? And again, Micah 7:15, like according to the coming out of Egypt. It has, similarities to that. It's not exactly the same, but it has similarities to that. It's also going to have similarities again, Haggai chapter 2, when he said he's going to make Zerubbabel for a sign and a sign, because this movement has similarities to that, right? You follow me? Because it's going to be kings, plural, because Cyrus was the great king, right? But he had secondary kings, 120 of them. Right, that all recognized the movement of Yah that Cyrus, you understand, submitted to, right, as it was prophesied in the 45th chapter of Yeshaya. Yah was going to raise up his servant Cyrus, though Cyrus had not known him, right? But Cyrus was Persian, right? And he would do what? He would let Yah's captives go not for price nor reward. See? And we look at history and whatnot, and we see that was fulfilled, the word of Yah. That's prophecy back then that's already been fulfilled back then. You understand what I'm saying? So, like Yah says in that 23rd and 30th chapter, you remember, in the latter days, you shall consider it perfectly. See? And again, all we got to do is read, study, pray, and do. Purge ourselves of the ways of the heathen, and acclimate to Yah's law, again, Deuteronomy 30 verse 2, with all our heart and all our soul. And Yah's, he starts, he starts working on his behalf for his holy name's sake. Ezekiel 36 verse 22. But he's got to have, at least one, right, to work through. That's why he talked about the stone cut out without hands. 42nd chapter Yeshaya, the first verse, behold my servant, mine elect, in whom my soul delights, I put my spirit upon him. Right? And again, what does Yah say? It's his zeal that's going to accomplish this. Now, when you look at this 59th chapter of Yeshua. Behold, Yah's hand is not short, that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy, that it cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated between you and your strong, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear. For your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies, your tongue hath muttered perverseness. What did Solomon say? Put perverse lips far from thee. None calls for justice, nor any pleads for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. Now, we also listened to this interview with Ali Abu Nima on this Lebanese, what's that Lebanese sister's name? Can't think of it. But it's this Lebanese sister, she has a podcast, and she had Ali Abu Nima on again here the other day, and we listened to it. And he was talking about again. See, because he was talking about Shireen Abu Akleh, right? And how she was murdered. But, you know, it's been a second Palestinian woman journalist they just assassinated here a few days ago. And her name is YHWH OUR. I think I'm saying that right. YHWH OUR. Okay, she was 31. And they shot her in the chest and killed her. She a journalist. They claim she approached the Edomite military, checkpoint with a knife. She had a knife in her hand. They shot her in the chest. And then when they shoot them, they let them bleed out. Okay, because they said the ambulance, the Red Crescent ambulance came to get her. They wouldn't let them get her, wouldn't let them even attend to her. They stopped and let her bleed out. She bled out right there on the ground. Because it's another guy that's got a podcast, like Eminem or something. She finds these ones, and we look at him. He's like Syrian and British, and he was talking about it. And he showed it. He didn't show it, because he said it was too gruesome to watch. But what he had it like blurred out where you couldn't see it, but you could hear it, what was going on, right? And they just let her lay there and bleed out, okay? See, these are the things that happened to Israel. And again, the so-called Palestinians are descendants of Israel, right? Since the Uvalde, Texas situation, are you hearing me out there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me out there? All right. Since the Uvalde, Texas situation, you've had 20 more mass shootings since the Uvalde, Texas situation. And it's probably even more now, because when we heard this was like 2 to 3 days ago. Matter of fact, 2 days ago. Okay, you'll hear this on Democracy Now! You watch that about the NRA that I mentioned with that Frank Smythe, who wrote the NRA Unauthorized History. On that Democracy Now! Show, Amy Goodman states that it had been 20 more mass shootings in America since the Uvalde, Texas situation. Okay? So this is not going to stop. You follow me? Because America has bombed, killed, lied, stole, murdered, genocidal activity. I mean, to this day, and now it's coming back. See, people come here to America, right? People be trying to get here on rafts. Like I said in the session, these Haitians died, and this ain't the first one. I mean, we had plenty. Different people from different nations, Dominican Republic, Haiti, whatnot, trying to come here. Because they think it's so much better here. You see what I'm saying? People from Afghanistan, people, trying to get to America. You follow me? Because they think it's so much better here. But again, they got to see it's not better here. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the daughter of Babylon. And Yah, as he said he was going to do, right? In that chapter 47, Yeshaya, he was going to expose this country for who and what it is, what it has done, and what it is doing to this day. Now I'm back here in the 59th chapter, right, of Yeshaya, right? And I'll just pick it up again. I'm going to read again verse 4. None calls for justice, because this is what Ali Abu Nima was saying in this interview, okay, with this Lebanese sister on her podcast. He said, where's the justice? He was talking about these, you know, Shireen Abu Aklah's murder and this Rufa Wahazna murder, okay? Two Palestinian, so-called Palestinian journalists. Again, they really Israelites, don't know it, right? And now, like I said, Abu Akla, she was a Christian. Now this Rufa Wahazna, more likely she was a Muslim because she had her headdress on when she was shot. You follow me? So she more likely into Islam. You follow me? So Ali Abu Nima was saying, and you know, these murders have been continual through the years. He said, where is the justice? See, now again, they don't know they Israel. So I'm going to back in here in the 59th chapter of Yeshaya. And this is what Yah is saying about Yisrael, the descendants of Yisrael, wherever we are on the face of the earth. Now check it out, right? Back here verse 4, None calls for justice, nor any pleas for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. Because when you're in these idolatries, you're speaking lies. You're speaking, you know, you understand? What you're talking about is a myth. It's a lie. It's not true, right? Verse 5, they hatch cockatrices' eggs and weave the spider's web. He that eats of their eggs dies, and that which is crushed breaks out into another lie, a serpent, another viper. Cockatrice egg, right? Like my guy I talked about in this session. See, back there, he went to jail around the beginning of 75, in the end of 74, the beginning of 75. He went to jail again. And so when he went to jail this second time, right? Because he had gone to jail in 68, got it out in 70 because he was going to college. That's when we really got close. 70, 71, 72, 3, 4, right? All right, but then he was back into the game, you understand, 3, 4, and then he got busted again in 74. And then he had that paper on him. He had 5 years of paper when he got out in 70. So that brought that paper back on him. You understand? He was under that, like parole. So they enacted that paper. So he went back to jail. But this time, when he went into jail, because see, when he went to jail that second time, we went to see him. I got his wife. We went to see him. He was in Pontiac. Okay. We went to see him. But this time, he's like, he gonna get his degree. You follow what I'm saying? And get his degree and come back and really be part of this. You understand? Because he tired of going to jail. You follow what I'm saying? So he gonna come back, and now he gonna get his degree, get him a job, which he did. You follow me? But the deal is, he went into that, and then he went into Christianity. Like I said, I mentioned it in the past. He used to bring that Christianity to me. I knock it down. He know that. You know what I mean? He knew that it was nothing. He knew it was game, but he kept on in it anyway. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, we basically stopped talking because, like I say, two can't walk together unless they agreed. Because he would come by here every now and then, some years back, and bring that nonsense. I said, man, why you bring me that nonsense? And I knock it down, tear it to shreds. And it got to a place, every now and then he would bring it to me because he wanted to see what I was going to say. And because he don't understand the book. You know what I mean? Because he in the New Testament. He didn't understand that either. But he knew it was game. Okay? See? And so that's the path he took. That's the choice he made. Back in the late 70s when he got out to join the second and the last time. You follow me? And like I said, Ben and myself, he sent me, this is like 79, 80, he sent me two tickets to his graduation. And I said to Ben, I said, man, you know, Ty's graduating. You want to go? He sent me 2 tickets. He said, yeah. And so we went. You understand? It was downtown. You know what I mean? In the big auditorium. And when Ben and I got there, we sitting up at the top. The place was packed. And Ben sat there and dissected the whole thing. You understand what I'm saying? How all of them reinforcing one another in this lie. You follow me? So now he took off in his way. I'm still in pursuit of the Most High. You follow what I'm saying? So now when I go by there last month, you know, and we talking, you understand? Like I said, I was over there 4 hours. All this came up in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? We talked about a lot of stuff. And I could see it in his eyes. It hit him. It hit him. See? Because he's intelligent. You understand what I'm saying? And like I said, when I got ready to go, he looked at his wife. He said, you know, we need to get you over here to, you understand, show us how to eat. She didn't say a word. You follow what I'm saying? And then, like I said, a couple hours after I got back here, we had just finished dinner. Not long after we had finished dinner, here the phone rang in his hand. And he thanking me for coming back because he could see it. Like I say, he's intelligent. He ain't stupid. You know, he can see it. You follow me? And he can see himself in the choice he made. Because we have to make choices. Okay? We have to make a decision, each and every one of us. And if we're going to be about the Creator, and we say that, then we got to be that. Because you can't fool Yah. Like I just said in the past, I said on the last session, you know, you might can fool me. You understand what I mean? I could be tricked, or fooled possibly, or coerced possibly. You understand? Possibly now. I hope not. You understand what I mean? Because as long as we keep Yah before us, right? And we're applying Yah's laws, statutes, ordinances, judgments, commandments, and precepts to ourselves, to everyone and everything, you know, you can't trick Yah. Right? That's why Moshe said to our forefathers, this is not a vain thing to you, O Israel. This is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of these nations. And by the keeping of these laws, statutes, ordinances, judgments, commandments, and precepts, your days shall be multiplied. Your days shall be prolonged. Now I'm back here in 59 Yeshai, right? Okay? Again, because what he saw more likely than not is what you see there in verse 5. He ate the cockatrice's eggs, and now, what he pursued has turned out to be a snake on himself. Okay? Now, verse 6. Their webs shall not become garments. Neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity, and the act of violence is in their hands. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Now, I thought about that when I was listening about this Uvalde, Texas situation. And they talking about how the police waited an hour before they went into the school. Right? They were told to stand down. And then I thought about what I just read here. Because you know, over in Proverbs, Solomon talks about that. One of the things that Yah does not like are those whose feet run to evil. They run to, you know, nonsense and chaos. Evil, right? Well, that's how they train these police. Isn't that right? That's how they train them. When evil jumps off, they supposed to run to it. Isn't that right? Okay. So now, verse 7, their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. The way of peace they know not. And that's what this movement is about. Yeshaya 9:6. What is the seed of David called? He called the Prince of Peace. Not the Prince of Chaos, not the Prince of War. He the Prince of Peace, right? And there is no judgment in their goings, right? They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goes therein shall not know peace. Therefore is judgment far from us, neither does justice overtake us. Like I said, if you were to listen to that Ali Abu Nima interview with that Lebanese sister on her podcast, that's what he was saying. Where's the justice? Palestinians don't get any justice. And the reason why, because they descendants of Israel and they in idolatry. Just like the average one of us over here, descendants of Israel or wherever we are, we're in idolatries. We're in the lies and deception. So we don't get any equity. We don't get any justice. Right? Listen to it. Back here again, right? Therefore is judgment far from us, neither does justice overtake us. Verse 9, right? We wait for light, but behold obscurity. For brightness, but we walk in darkness. The illusion of possibility. We grope for the wall like the blind, and we grope as if we had no eyes. You hear that? As if we had no eyes. Got eyes, but can't see. Isn't that the prophecy over there? Don't we see that in the 42nd chapter of Yeshaya? Seeing many things, but observing not. Hearing many things, but understanding not. Right? Same thing in Yeshaya chapter 6. Leave their eyes open, but don't let them see. Make their ears heavy where they can't hear. They heart fat where they can't understand. Right? It says, we stumble at noonday, like in the night. Right? And not a cloud in the sky, sun shining bright, but they stumbling. Eyes wide open, but they can't see. Don't have any understanding. Right? Like they groping, like it's nighttime. Say we are in desolate places like dead men. Like dead men or women. Right? Isn't that what we see in the first vision that Daniel got? Chapter 12. What does it say? You understand? Many shall awake. Don't say all. Many shall awake, some to everlasting life. And you understand? And some to shame and everlasting contempt. Those who what? Sleep in the dust of the earth. Right? Walking dead. Zombies. Right? We roar all like bears and mourn sore like doves. Hadn't I said that? You know, and what Yada was playing this morning, the 2021, June 2021 session. For those of you who heard it, wasn't that many in the room, but you know, you've all possibly heard it in the past. And I said in that June 2021 situation, here the so-called Palestinians, you know what I mean? They've been beat, they've been bombed, over there in the Gaza and whatnot and other places. And here they be shooting their guns like they got a victory. When the Edomites decide to stop bombing them and killing them. And they be shooting their guns, you understand? You understand? Roar like a bear, but in the end they mourn and soar like doves. Same thing over here, right? With these, you know, Black Lives Matter and different groups. They march around. I've been watching them almost all my life. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. And then what do we see? We burn down our own communities. We attack all of the grocery stores, and the different retail stores in our community. We go and you know, kick the glass in, the doors down, and pummel them. You know what I mean? Steal and pillage and plunder, burn them places down, and then we turn around. The next day, you understand, and say, man, we ain't got no store in our community. We can't got nowhere to buy no food. Mourn and soar like a dove. Roar like a bear, but in the end, mourn and soar like a dove. And end up begging, you understand, the different owners of these stores to come back and rebuild in our community. Open up the store again. And please sell us the things that we just burnt down because we got angry. You follow me? Roar like a bear, but in the end, mourn soar like a dove. We look for judgment, but there is none. For salvation, but it is far off from us. Right? Because they're in idolatries. For our transgressions are multiplied before thee. And before Yah, right? And our sins testify against us. For our transgressions are with us. And as for our iniquities, we know them. for the most part, right? And since Yah has brought Yah righteousness on the scene, that's why, again, you know, Yah was saying here a few days back, she said, it should be 1 million people in the room, you know, on the stream trying to get this knowledge. Like the brother just said to me this past Monday from down there in Texas. Okay, he said, he said, man, you just keep doing what you're doing. He said, because everybody should hear this. Like the Caucasian said to me, you know, some years back, that called from Portland, Oregon. And I think, well, it was Oregon. I think it might have been Portland, but it was Oregon. And when I picked up the phone, Yah Righteous Peace, it was quiet for a few seconds. And then all of a sudden, she said, you the truth teller. Okay? And we talked, and she said, you know, can I you know, bring this to other people? I said, sure. She said, yeah. She said, because there's plenty young white folks need to hear this. That's what she said to me. Young white children, you know, yeah, she said they need to hear this. Okay? See? So, you know, you know what I'm saying? Man, says, for our iniquities we know them, in transgressing and lying against Yah, and departing away from our strong, speaking oppression and revolt, conceiving and uttering from the heart words of falsehood, lies. We want to walk up and down in lies instead of the truth. You know, you understand, like some years back, about 12 years ago, we went to this concert downtown in Millennium Park. And a lot of people we knew was there. There's a lot of people, you know, from all over, a lot of people we knew. So I was sitting with this brother that I mentioned in the past, I know he listens to so much of the sessions at different times, right? He's the one that called him back in 2020. YHWH, what's going on? I said, oh, straight in for. He said, no, YHWH, what's really, this back in April 2020, what's really going on, right? So we were sitting with him, some old people, and his wife, right? And so him and I got to talking, and he pushed some buttons on me, and I was hitting him, you know, with what we do and what's really, you know, going on with this and in the world, you know. And his wife was listening because she was sitting on the other side of him, right? And she was listening. And after a while, he got up and went somewhere, and I was sitting there, and she looked around, and she looked at me, and I said, yeah. She said, you're so gloomy. Okay? She said, you so gloomy. You follow me? See, because the average person, they don't want to hear the real deal. They don't want to hear the truth. You follow me? Because the truth is too scary. And she said, you're so gloomy. See, that's why a lot of people, you know, I know don't come into the room. You know what I'm saying? They come and they listen a little bit, or they say they don't want to hear. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's, you understand what I mean? Because they would have to change. And you've got so many people, they don't want to change, and they're not going to change. They're stubborn. They're stiff-necked. Huh? You follow what I'm saying? This is what my guy saw, you know, last month when I went over there. He saw himself as we talked for them 4 hours. He saw himself. And he realized the decision that he made years ago and the decision that I made years ago. See? You follow me? And he can see the difference. Like I say, he's intelligent. Okay? Now, check it out. I'm back in 59 YHWH, right? I'm gonna again, right? Just pick back up at verse 13. And transgressing and lying against Yah, departing away from our strong and speaking oppression and revolt, conceiving and uttering from the heart words of falsehood, lies, and deception, right? And judgment is turned away backward, because we don't get any justice, right? And justice stands afar, but we don't get it. That's what Ali Abu Nimr was saying on the Lebanese Sisters podcast the other day. We don't get any justice. He don't understand why. We do, right? Because we Israel, as the so-called Palestinians are. For truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. We don't get equity, right? And Yah saw it, that there was no man. Wondered that there was no intercessor, right? Because Yah made promises that he brings through Israel. He made promises to all humanity, right? That he would bring forth his movement for the end of these four dominions of man. He would bring forth his light through his movement called Yah, our righteousness. That's this book. I didn't write the book, I just followed it, right? And he saw that there was no man and wondered that what? That there was no intercessor. Therefore his arm, isn't that what Jerusalem is? The arm of Yah? Ezekiel chapter 4. His arm brought salvation unto him, and his righteousness, it sustained him. Isn't that what I just said? We turn to this law with all our heart and soul. Isn't that what Moshe told our forefathers? And then Yah will sustain us back because we're what? We've attached ourselves to Yah now. He who creates. By submitting, again, Deuteronomy 30 verse 2, I can't say it enough, to obeying Yah's laws, statutes, ordinances, judgments, commandments, and precepts with all our heart and all our soul. Right? That's what the arm of Yah is to do. Right? And Yah, through his arm, brought salvation through obeying the law. Yah becomes our salvation, does he not? And his righteousness is what sustains us, is it not? You know, it's really him, right? But by obeying the Father, then the Father, right? As I said in the past, right? The law is our wife, the wife of our youth. Malachi chapter 2, right? We are the wife to Yah. He's our husband, right? Yeshaya chapter 62, right? We're like a bride in waiting. Huh? We're like a bride in waiting because we had to get ourselves together like Rebecca. It took her 20 years to get, you know, or thereabouts, right? To get in harmony with the law. That's when Yah impregnated her. You follow what I'm saying? Took her 20 years. Took Moses 40. Because he'd been raised in Egypt, in the ways of the heathen, just like we've been raised here in this daughter of Babylon, in the ways of the heathen. You understand what I'm saying? We've been taught about, you understand, about a bunch of nonsense, garbage, right? Our fathers and mothers didn't know no better, right? But we are that generation, right? Yeshaya 53, what does Yah say? Who shall declare their generation? Question mark. So we have sought Yah out. This is the fishing period. For those who are what? 55 Yeshaya, who are hungry for truth, hungry for righteousness, hungry for equity, hungry for salvation, hungry for the true and living creator, want to know the truth. Who is really the creator? See? And then when we find out that's not enough, now we determined, you understand, to establish truth, righteousness, peace, you understand, to reap salvation. We're determined. That's the zeal of Yah that gives us that drive. Huh? The zeal of Yah. What did Yah say? The zeal of Yah. His zeal shall accomplish this. That's why he keeps renewing us. Because I'm sure all of you out there, you've had times like me. You're depressed. You feel like kind of like out of sorts. But then what do? You know, I know what I did. You know, I put my mind on Yah. I open up the book, read something. I go pray. Right? It's been plenty of times like that through the years. Right? And then Yah strengthens me by his spirit. Huh? Zechariah chapter 4. Not by power nor by might, but by my spirit, saith Yah. And that's the zeal of Yah. See? And renews us. And then he renews me, and then I'm like, okay, I'm you know what I mean? I'm refocused, right? I got that impetus, and boom, back on it again. Okay? I mean, this is what time and time, Yah's that endless reservoir, huh? Of drive, of spirit, of zeal. See? That he inseminates into us to keep us focused. to keep us going, right? Because it's time to, like I said, it's this paradigm that Yah has given us, allowed us this light, right? Yeshaya chapter 9 would say the people in there have seen the great light. See, that's that paradigm, that vision. Like I said back in 2016, when this person that used to be with this movie come talk about we living in a dream. I ain't living in no dream. Okay? I'm living by this vision, this paradigm that Yah has inculcated into my heart and into my mind. And that's what keeps me going. That's what has kept me going all these years through trials and tribulations. And I've done my best. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Stay even key. And as I said in the past, there's times when I, depressed, I go open up the book and seem like wherever I open up the book, that's the place I need to read. And it strengthens me. Yah, by his spirit, strengthens me. And actually, when you go through the book, start reading something, you turn into him. Not Matthew through Revelations, but Genesis through Malachi. You don't get nothing when you go over there to Matthew through Revelations. Or you go to the Talmud, or you go to the Quran, or Bhagavad Gita. You don't get nothing when you go to that garbage, or L. Ron Hubbard. You understand what I'm saying? See? So what did y'all say? I'm back in 59 Yeshaya, right? Judgment is turned away backward. Justice stands afar off, and truth is falling in the street, and equity cannot enter. That's what we're seeing all around the earth, right? Yes, truth failed, and he that departs from evil maketh himself or herself a prey. And Yah saw it, because everything is before Yah, and it displeased him, that there was no judgment. And he saw that there was no man, no woman, right, to be about him, and wondered that there was no intercessor. Therefore, Yah's arm brought salvation unto him, because we turned to the law. Yah brought us to his word, and we started embracing that law, right? And it's this law and all the attributes of the law, right, that we embrace. And from doing that, Yah, the creator of the law, sustains us. Again, the law is our wife. So when we turn and do what a man is supposed to do with his wife, right? Supposed to cleave unto his wife. Doesn't it say that? So in cleaving to our wife, the law, right now, right? Yah's our husband. He starts to feed us. Then he say, I'm going to feed you. I'm going to house you. I'm going to clothe you. I'm going to make sure, you're not overwhelmed with floods. I'm going to make sure that you're not overwhelmed with heat, right? You understand? I'm going to take care of you. Thou worm, Yaakov, chapter 41, Yeshaya. Right? You follow me? For he put on, or she put on the righteousness as a breastplate. That's this law. Right? Just like the breastplate that the high priest wears. Right? With the Thummim and the Urim. Right? Because they got it reversed in most places. Only, in one place where it says Thummim and Urim, and that's it. Thummim is the inquiry, Urim is the answer. Right? And that's that law and all the attributes of the law, right? And put on a helmet of salvation upon his or her head. That's the faith we've got to have in Yah. The unshakable, unequivocal faith. Helmet of salvation upon our head, right? And he put on, or she, he or she, right? Put on the garments of vengeance for clothing, and was clad with zeal as a cloak. And that's the zeal of Yah. You can only get it from Yah, by his spirit. According to their deeds. And again, this the garments of vengeance for clothing, again, recompense. Recompense. Everybody got to get recompense, whether they've done good or evil, they got to get it back. So now, it's time for Esau, right, to get recompense. See, that's why you got a lot of Edomites. They don't want to be Esau anymore. Okay, but you know, y'all know who everybody is. You follow me? Because y'all showed me this statement somebody made on the stream about is the possibility that we're going to know who the high priest is before y'all brings us out of here. No, I don't see that. We're not going to find out who the high priest is till we get back, till the Jerusalem movement gets back. Y'all reveal who the high priest is, who the priests are, who the Levites are. You understand what I mean? Who's of Yehudah, who's of Benjamin, who's of Levi, you understand? Who's Naphtali, who's Issachar, and so on and so forth. Reuben, Gad, Yahusef, Ephraim, Manasseh, you know what I'm saying? All right? So, again, put on garments of vengeance for clothing. It was clad with zeal as a cloak, according to their deeds. Accordingly, he will repay. Right? Yah is a strong one of justice and truth, righteousness, right? Fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies. To the islands he will repay recompense. So shall they fear the name of Yah from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. That's what Yah brings us back to the land, to Jerusalem, right? Place us in the midst of our sisters, be a comfort unto them, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of Yah. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yah shall lift up a standard against him. That's what you see over there in Micah chapter 5, right? 7 shepherds and 8 principal men. That's when the Assyrian comes in, so-called Iraqis, right? And the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith Yah. As for me, this is my covenant with them, saith Yah. My spirit that is upon thee, and my words which I have put in thy mouth, shall not depart out of thy mouth, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, nor out of the mouth of thy seed's seed, saith Yah, from henceforth and forever. That's the holy children. Sons and daughters conceived, born, and raised in the fear of Yah, that will always be about Yah forever. Okay? Now, I've got just a few articles here. Chicago Tribune. Let's get the first one. June the 1st. Flood of misery over water scarcity. Official quotas, land changes leave Iraqi farmers in distress. I can't show you the picture, but it's a picture of an Iraqi standing in his field, right? Salah Khaled, a farmer near Baghdad, produced 30,000 tons of wheat in 2021. He expects that figure to plummet to 10,000 tons this year. So he turned out 30,000 tons last year, but he be doing good if he get 10,000 tons this year. That's a third of what he got last year. Okay, because of the scarcity of water. And when I say that, just those of you who privy to it, those of you who might not, just go to that 42nd chapter, Yeshaya. Isaiah, what did y'all say? I'm going to dry up the pool. I'm going to dry up the water. Well, we've been witnessing this for a long time, right? Like I just said in the session about out there on the West Coast in California, you understand? There's some people out there, they want, you understand, the government out there to invest $1.4 billion in a desalination plant to turn that salt water into drinkable water, but they're not doing it. See? You follow me? They're not doing it. Because again, they know that, and when I say they, the illuminated ones know, Skull and Bone Boys know, this is going to be destroyed. It's already being destroyed as we speak. I mean, we've been pointing this out for years now, right? Now, I'm sure many of you can see it a lot clearer, with what's going on, right? In regards to prophecy. See? So, but Yah's doing this over the whole earth. Because it's the whole earth this time, not just one nation. So you got the Iraqi farmers, the Iraqis don't have any water. Okay? Big article. Okay? But the water's drying up. And I don't care what you have, right? Nothing can take the place of water, right? Chicago Tribune, June the 1st. Biden Powell meet while inflation grips consumers. President says rising prices are top economic priority. He won't meddle with the Fed like he got some control, like he got some control over them. They don't have no control over it at all. He can't meddle with them. You know what I'm saying? Also, grounded flights ruin summer travel start. Now, you understand? A lot of these flights, I know most of you, not all of you, aware how these flights been being canceled. Now they tell us sometimes it's storms or, you know what I mean, or something. But I think it's fuel. That's what I think. Because the price of fuel and the scarcity of fuel now, has gone up exponentially. So they don't want to tell the people that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to tell the people that, hey, it's too high. We couldn't get it like we've been getting. You understand what I'm saying? Or because of this Russian situation, we can't get it at all. And I think that's the real deal. Okay? Also, record inflation seen in Eurozone. You follow me? Now, they claim the inflation hit 8.1% over there in the EU. But I don't believe that. I think it's much, much higher than that, like it is here. Because they say it's like 18, 19, 20% inflation here. Like I just said in the session, right? Gas was like $3.15 a gallon last year at this time. Now, it's what? It's around $5.15, $5.25, $5.49 a gallon for regular. You follow me? So that's like 40% right there. You follow me? Also, Singapore braces for Malaysia chicken ban. Now this is all out of Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, right? Diners in Singapore are bracing for prices of their national chicken and rice dish to soar as neighboring Malaysia prepares to block exports starting Wednesday to increase supplies in its own markets and hold down surging prices. Okay? Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob, you hear that? Yaakob, Y-A-A-K-O-B, announced last week that beginning June 1st, Malaysia will ban exports of 3.6 million chickens a month until domestic prices and production stabilize. Okay? The move is felt most in Singapore, which sources a third of its poultry from Malaysia. Almost all the chickens are imported live to Singapore, where they are slaughtered and chilled. Okay? Now, you understand? See, because they got to stop exporting because they like, we got to have our chicken for ourselves over here. You follow what I'm saying? Shouldn't be eating that garbage anyway, but you know, that's what's going on. And that's what I think about the fuel when they grounding all these flights. You understand me? They not getting the fuel. Plus it's high. Okay? But they don't want to tell you that. Right? Chicago Tribune, June the 2nd. At least 4 slain in Oklahoma shooting. See, that's one of those that's one of those 20 mass shootings that I just mentioned that Amy Goodman mentioned the other day. Matter of fact, you know what? This is after that. So this is 21. This is 21. All right? Since the Uvalde situation. Okay? This stuff's not going to stop. Right? Government also did a big catastrophic scene at Tulsa Medical Facility. Now, I don't know if all of you seen it, but this was one of us, an Israelite. And he killed, one of the doctors he killed was an Israelite that operated on him. Okay? The doctor's name was Preston. Preston something. And I can't remember what the Israelite's name was. They probably got it in here. But he bought the guns like 2 days before he went and did the shooting. A day or two before he went and did the shooting. And the deal was what they say, he had a back problem, right? So he went to see, as people generally do, they went to flesh. That's all they know basically how to do, right? And they told him we got to operate. So it was a brother, surgeon that operated on his back, right? And when you get to fooling with that back, I've read many things in the past. You let somebody operate on your back's probably never going to be right, okay? Because that's real delicate, that spinal area and those discs and whatnot, okay? So the brother was in pain after they operated on him. He got so upset, he went and bought some guns, went to the medical facility, shot the doctor dead, and killed 3 other people. and then turned the gun on himself and committed suicide. But he's the one that went to them. They didn't go to him. He went to them, right? And they say he was in pain, so he was upset about that. All right. Also, June the 2nd, Chicago Tribune, Russia said to have cut gas supply to Denmark. Like I said, Denmark's one of those 6 nations that said they're not paying Russians in rubles, and Russia stopped, turned the gas off. It's just that simple. And June the 2nd, Chicago Tribune, Israeli army kills Palestinian woman, it says wielded a knife. Now that's this YHWH. Again, and her name is spelled G-H. Matter of fact, it's Hafra. But you don't pronounce the G. The G is silent. G-H-A-F-R-A-N. And they pronounce it Hafra. Hafran Waranas. Or Warasna. W-A-R-A-S-N-A. That's the last name. So her name was Hafran Warasna. Okay, journalist, 31 years old. Edomite shot her in the chest. Claimed she had a knife. We saw the knife she supposedly had. Look like a table knife. Yeah, y'all said a paring knife. And they claimed, now she's a journalist, been a journalist for some years. She's 31. She ain't just become a journalist, right? But why was she attacked then with a knife? I mean, it's stupid. You know what I mean? Shot her in the chest and then let her bleed out. Wouldn't allow the Red Crescent ambulance to come get her. The Palestinian ambulance come get her. Just let her bleed out there and die. And like Ali Abu Nima said, that go on all the time. Well, we see the same thing. Isn't that what they did to Michael Brown in Ferguson? Shot him down, that Darren Wilson shot him down, and they let him lay there in the middle of the street for about 3.5 to 4 hours. Before they even, I think it was like 3 hours before they even put a sheet over him, covered him up. Now, that's what happens to Yisrael, who's not in harmony with the laws, statutes, ordinances, judges, commandments, and precepts of YHWH of hosts, the Creator, the Father of us all. What do you want to talk about? Anything? All of y'all in the days. Okay. I mean, and if you don't have anything, you don't have to press yourself, But again, that's where we are, okay? Prophetically. I mean, this is ratcheting up. Cause let me say this: we are in a depression, not a recession. That's what they call it. We're in a recession. They try to, they're not going to say it on the news, but that's where we are. We're in a recession. Okay. That's where the country is. And not only the country, basically, the world, definitely the Western world, Russian them. Look, you know how much Russia's paying for a gallon of gas? Like $2.20. Okay. You know what I mean? We saw the other day, I think they said it's like $2.18 the Russians is paying for a gallon of gas. And the ruble is one of the strongest, it had its little hit at first. Now it's one of the strongest currency, and not the strongest currency on the earth. The ruble is stronger than strong. Like I said in the session, I think I said it's probably even stronger than what the Russians wanted. But you understand what I mean? Because like Peter Lavelle and his 3 guests said yesterday, the people on the eastern side of the world, the global south, I don't like to use that term, the world south and whatnot, they doing business. Okay? Those countries doing business. If you notice, that boy Modi, who's the prime minister, president of India, America tried to put pressure on him. He said, hey, y'all don't want to deal with Russia, don't deal with them, but we got to deal with them. You understand? We got to take care of our people here. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, Aaliyah, peace, bro, and to you and your house. You said, is Turkey part of the inheritance of Israel? I don't think so. I don't think so, Israel doesn't go up that far. If I'm, from what I've seen on the map. You say considering that the Euphrates goes through Turkey. Well, I don't know. I know that the northern boundary will be the Euphrates. Yada's pulling out a map right now. Let's take a look at it. Okay. Peace, Yoshi. Was it somebody before Yoshi did? He kind of moved kind of quick. Okay. Othniel, peace, bro, and y'all bless you as well. I don't want to step on any toes if I'm not mistaken. Yah's My Power posted the article about the torrential rains down in Miami. Oh, okay. Excuse me, Yah's My Power. Y'all bless. I was thinking Othniel posted that. But okay, that's cool. Thanks for that information, Yah's My Power. But again, you understand me? Miami's sinking. We pointed that out a few years ago. And again, that's what that Wesley Clark Jr. brought out, that I mentioned in the session. Okay, Yoshi, peace, bro. You said, did I see that one of the brothers that was killed in the Buffalo shooting had patented a way to drive a car on water? No, I missed that totally. I didn't hear anything about it. It's the first I heard about that, Yoshi. You said the shooting may have been a hit. Could have been. Could have been. Okay. That's the first I heard of that, though. But you know what, though? I've seen, one of those cars that can ride on land in the past and go straight into the water and ride on water. I've seen that some years ago. Okay. So you're saying this brother patented that? So I didn't know anything about that. Okay. And it was definitely a hit. I don't know if it's specifically about him. Like I said, this Jidrin or whatever his name is, he could be, MK Ultra, you know what I mean? A Manchurian candidate. I wouldn't doubt it. But he's definitely a fool, that's for sure. But at the same time, like I said in the session, it was done on the Sabbath day. And them brothers and sisters was doing what? They was out there, and they should have been in if they was about Yah, right? It wouldn't even been on the street, right? So, that's all of these Israelites trying to be, like the heathen. So we're going to see, we've been seeing it, we're going to see some more of it. Simple as that. Peace, Othniel, you said you've been doing a lot of historical research. I'm currently backtracking concerning the Louisiana purchase. Is it possible that the French that purchased from Spain the Spanish were actually Germans? It seems that the info takes me back to Brussels. Well, the French are Germans, right? I said that in the past. The Germans the French and the English are Germans. One is the Purian Frank, Frank. The other one is the Salarian Franks. I forget which is which. Salarian and Purian Franks, right? Purian, I think it is. PR, I think. It's been a while since I've seen it. I've mentioned it in the past. But they are Germans. Okay? They are that. Okay, 7 Shepherds, 8. You say, when in projection do I see the food shortages run the course? Is it taking place now? Again, Caleb in Israel, again, that's happening. But as I said in the last session, what Jacob, Brother Jacob and Yahadassah, we were talking, and Jacob said that he had brought up on the internet and saw where, the powers that be are causing a lot of the food shortages here purposely. Okay? Because they you got to remember this. And I've mentioned this in the past in this matter. When they wanted to get the people here in America all riled up for World War I, to enter into World War I and go fight this war they wanted to get them in, which they got them in, what did they do? They was sending weapons, just like they send into the Ukraine now, right? They were sending to the Ukrainian Edomites, right? They were sending weapons to Britain on these ocean liner ships, these passenger ships. And the Germans, you know, found out about it. They told them, say, listen, we know you sending weapons over here. And knowing the illuminated Edomite, he didn't try to do it secretly. You know what I mean? He might have told the Germans themselves. You know what I mean? We know you sending weapons over here, so if you keep sending weapons to Britain on these liner, you know, these passenger ships, we're gonna sink them. We see these passenger ships come up, we're gonna sink them. And they did it anyway. And then the Germans sunk the Lusitania, right? And that's supposedly be the straw that broke the camel's back. They got America into the war, right? But again, this is all Illuminati engineered. They did the similar thing in World War II, did they not? With the situation with Pearl Harbor. I mean, they sunk a Japanese ship that had been encroaching on Japanese territory, just like the Ukraine. They've been doing this, encroaching on Russian territory in the Ukraine for years now. You follow what I'm saying? Definitely since 2014, right? And so finally, right, just like they did on Japan, and then they sunk a Japanese freighter in the Pacific. Like I said, I heard this years ago on ABC, Peter Jennings. Maybe that's why he ain't here now. I don't know. Okay, but he revealed that on what I was watching this program years ago. Peter Jennings was doing ABC News. This was a special thing, and he brought that out, how a Japanese freighter had been sunk right before the Japanese. This is what, you know, instigated the Japanese, together with all of the other encroachment on Japanese territories in the Pacific, to attack Pearl Harbor, right? So this is what got, you know, and this was all planned out by the Illuminated Skull and Bones, you know, boys, right? The Illuminated Edomite and Skull and Bone boys, which consist of Edomites and Gentiles, Caucasians, descendants out of YHWH, right? And that's how they got Americans into World War II. We see the Gulf of Tonkin, which was a total lie, never happened, but they brought that out, that total lie, to get, you know, the reason why supposedly they started the draft, you know, after they then got rid of Kennedy, who didn't want to go, you know, get America into that Vietnam situation. So they assassinated him, and some other things they assassinated him for too. Like we said in the past, you know, he was, as he told his father, and this is in this history of Edom, the imposter Jew, he was going to revoke the Federal Reserve Charter. As I said in the past, his father told him, if you try to do that, they're going to kill you, right? Because he had already empowered the United States Treasury to print up over 4.2 billion Treasury notes, not you know, Federal Reserve notes, you know, debt paper. He had them print up 4.2 billion Treasury notes. They never made it to the public, you know, but that's when they killed him. You follow what I'm saying? And then right after that, they put Johnson in there, and then Johnson would, the Vietnamese attacked the Gulf of Tonkin, which was a total lie, and then they started to draft and started sending American soldiers, you understand, to Vietnam. You follow me? So this could be a similar type situation. You follow what I'm saying? They're causing the food shortages, and then they know people go get riled up. They don't have anything to eat, right? And they tell them all it's all because of Russia. You understand what I mean? Russia this, Russia that. You follow what I'm saying? So, you know, always, the Illuminated Edomite is always trying to set the narrative all the time, right? In other words, program you what to think, not how to think, but what to think. Simple as that. Okay. You see, y'all, you know, YHWH 1955 put up, they're paying $4.39 a gallon in Monroe, Louisiana, right? And peace, YHWH. Okay, and that was Friday. Last Friday, or this Friday, I guess, $4.39 a gallon. And that's high down there, right? You're not gonna hardly find anything below $5 here in Chicago, and that's a fact. Everything I've seen is over $5. You understand? Premium is over $6. That's here in Chicago. You know, you got all these taxes, and I think Yada told me they paid around almost $7 or something like that. Matter of fact, we saw that in California. They right at $7 for premium. And, you know, so regulars got to be probably, you know, right at over $5. I think they over $6 on the West Coast. And they probably similar on the East Coast, you know, New York and all them places, right? Peace and y'all bless, Kavia. Do we honor the Feast of Trumpets to commemorate Yah coming down on Mount Sinai in Exodus chapter 19, chapter 20? No. I ask because in Leviticus 23, the Feast of Trumpets is the holy convocation that doesn't have an explanation why we keep it. Oh, okay. Now, let me look at that. Because I think the only thing we don't honor is the Ingather, Feast of Ingather. It's the only thing we don't deal with now. I think we're dealing with everything we're supposed to deal with. So let me look at that. 23, 25. Okay. And Yah so he can speak of the children of Israel saying the 7th month. Okay, that's the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay, that's the Feast of Tabernacles in the 7th month, the first day of the month. Okay, it's blowing of the trumpets, right? That's the first day. You know what I'm saying? That's leading. That ain't the Feast of Tabernacles. That's blowing the trumpets. That's the first day. So we honor that. Now, you saying that that's possibly why we honor that in Exodus chapter 19, chapter 20. Again, the Feast of Trumpets is the holy convocation that doesn't have an explanation on why we keep it. Let me see. You say Leviticus 23. Okay, that's what I am. But you saying Exodus chapter 19 and 20. Let me go there and take a look at that. Exodus chapter 19 and 20. Okay. That's a possibility. I mean, I'm trying to see if does it say, well, I'm just trying to see, does it say when that was actually done? Okay, at the top of 19, you see what it says in the 3rd month, when Yah had brought children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, and they were in the wilderness of the Sinai. This is the 3rd month, right? I'm not seeing any. If you see any other time mentioned, let me know, because I'm not seeing any other time. This is the 3rd month after they came out of. So the 3rd month would have been, Abib, basically April, May, June, July. So it's around that time. So this wouldn't be in reference to the first day in, right, well, okay, right. April, May, June. Okay, June, right? Matter of fact, but this is the 3rd month. Then we say at the top, in the 3rd month, when the children of Israel. So this would be the 3rd month after Passover, which is the 1st month, right? In the 3rd month after. So I don't know, maybe it's 2 months. You say in the 3rd month. So it could be 2 months, right? 1st month is when he brought them out, and then the 3rd month, but it says after, right? So that would be the 4th month, correct? And the 3rd month when the children. No, so it's in the 3rd month when the children. Okay, so 2 months after. All right, but again, that's not the blowing of the trumpets, which is the first day of the 7th month, right? So, I'm not seeing it that way, right? This is just the 1st month of this 7th month in 24, 25, right? The first day of the 7th month. Because again, every first day of the month is the new month. In the book they got it new moon, but it's really saying new month. The first day of every month. Because that's one of the days that the first day of every month that the people can go and make a petition and or vow to Yah, right? Which is talked about in Ezekiel. Wait a minute, let me get there. Ezekiel, what is it, 46? Hold on. Okay, you pick it up at chapter 46, Ezekiel at the top. Thus saith the Lord Yah, the gate of the inner court that looks toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days, but on the Sabbath it shall be open, and in the day of the new moon, see, which is really the new month, right? In the day of the new month it shall be open. And the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate without, and shall stand by the post of the gate, and the priest shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings, and he shall worship at the threshold of the gate. Then he shall go forth, but the gate shall not be shut until, dark. They got evening, but that's dark, right? Likewise, now this is where it comes in. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of this gate before Yah in the Sabbaths. And you see what it says? And then it's going to say the new moon, but that's in the new month, the first day of the new month. You follow me? So that's like 13 times a year, the first day of every month, that people can go make a petition and or a vow to Yah, right? They don't have to wait until, Feast of Ingathering or Feast of Tabernacles or Passover to do that, right? Those 3 times in the year where everybody has to appear before Yah. So Yah gives everybody, the first day of every month is when that gate is open, right? And the people can go to where they can go to the place and make, just like we see Hannah in the first book of Samuel, right? They came up. I think that was around Feast of Tabernacles in my mind, but she made her petition and her vow. And so Yah gives everybody, a chance the first day of every month. They call it the new moon, but it's the new month, the first day of every new month, right? But in that 7th month, it's a holy convocation, right? And you don't do any servile work. And it's the blowing of the trumpets. To me, that like signifies going toward, that 7th month. In the 10th day of the month is the Day of Atonement, where everybody has to make atonement for their sins, right? And that's when the altar of incense that the high priest, puts incense on that altar. That's all that altar is for. It's for incense, the Day of Atonement. No work is done. Everybody afflicts their soul, right? Definitely don't drink. Possibly don't eat either. You afflict your, well, you don't eat, right? And possibly you don't drink while you afflict your soul. I did that this last time, like that, right? I probably will do that from now on. Afflict your soul. Don't eat or drink for the 24 hours. But like I said in the past, I have drunk water, but that's it. You know what I mean? But this last time I didn't eat or drink. Now, and then after that, the Day of Atonement, right? Then, which is the 10th day. Then the beginning of the 15th day is the Feast of Tabernacles, right? So, that blowing of the trumpets the first day of that 7th month is that's what we're told to do. I don't see it having anything to do with, blowing of the trumpet to gather the people to come to, because that was for them to come to the mount, right? And Yah gave them, talk to them out of the midst of the fire. Is that right? Right, and that's when he made the covenant, right? Malachi chapter 2, the wife of our youth, that's when the whole nation entered into the covenant with God that they would do whatever he said to do. That's the wife of our youth, right? So we blew the trumpet to gather all the people, because they couldn't come near the mount because they got killed, right? What's next? You play YHWH 1955. You say, when will our brothers and sisters in the land turn to Yah openly, or could some of them have have and is not able to get out that they know Yah. Well, again, they've been listening. They know about Yah righteousness. You know what I'm saying? But I would think Yah's preparing them. You know what I'm saying? They know. I know different ones know about the movement. So that could very well be. But I don't see any of them about Yah yet. That's how I see it. He's been preparing them though. I think the final, as they say, the straw that'll break the camel's back. I look at that when they, again, what we see at the back end of chapter 41, Yeshaya, right? I see that's when, matter of fact, I know that's when, and I'll read it to you. I've mentioned it in the past, but that's what's going to be the deciding factor for them, okay? And Yah says it basically there, right? At the back end of 41, I'll pick it up in verse, matter of fact, let me pick it up at, let me pick this up. I'm in chapter 41, Yeshaya. You can take it from the top, but I'm just going to pick it up from verse 17. Because I just touched on this earlier. When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, and their tongue fails for thirst, I, Yah, will hear them. That's the ones of us who are in harmony with the law, with all our heart and soul, wherever we are on the face of the earth. Okay? I, Yah, the strong of Israel, will not forsake them. You hear that? I will open rivers in high places and fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water, and the dry land springs of water. I will plant in the wilderness the cedar, the shitter tree, and the myrtle, and the oil tree. I will set in the desert the fir tree and the pine and the box tree together. That's the trees that bring forth that turpentine to purge the parasites out of you, right? Without any chemo or operations and all that garbage, right? That they may see and know and consider and understand together that the hand of Yah hath done this, and the Holy One of Israel hath created it. Now, you see what he say? Produce your cause, saith Yah. Bring forth your strong reasons, saith the King of Jacob. Now, you know what he's talking about, right? All these idolaters out here that's worshiping wood and stone, silver and gold, or whatever, right? Right? Verse 22. Let them bring them forth and show us what shall happen. Right? Because he's already prophesied everything. It's already installed. You follow me? That's what we validate, substantiate all the time here, correct? So Yah is saying, let all these idols tell you what has happened or what's going to happen, right? Let them show the former thing that they be, that we may consider them and know the latter end of them, or declare us things for to come. Because he's saying all these idolaters, bring forth your strong reasons, right? Your idols and images. Like I listen to the different Israelites at different, I don't listen like I used to, because every now and then, I might turn in on them and they still talking that garbage. You know what I mean? So I don't even want to hear it, basically. I just turn away, right? Different one like Dr. Warner, Plimline. I turn on to him sometimes because, you understand, sometimes they go on the internet and they're playing something of relevance off the internet, dealing with, the pandemic or some economic situation. But here the last, I don't know, man, basically Dr. Warren, he's in that book of Revelations talking a bunch of nonsense and stupidity, and it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's just so inane, and he's supposed to be so smart. He was talking here the other month about his degrees that he's got. You know what I'm saying? I tell you, boy, it's pathetic. You understand? And he claimed he can see what's going to happen, and I've listened to some of it, and it's totally inane. All right. But I'm back here, I'm in verse 23. Show the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that you are strong, right? Yes, do good or do evil, that we may be dismayed and behold it together. This is what This is what Yah was saying through Yeshaya back then, about back then and today. You follow me? Behold, you are of nothing, and your work of naught. And an abomination is he that chooses you. Right? So all these people in idolatry, not totally committed and submitted to Yah, they're an abomination. Yah said they're abomination, just like that which they put their trust in, what they follow. Right? Now check this out. Again, I've mentioned this in the past. Now he's talking about today. I have raised up one from the north. Right? Talking about the daughter. He's raised up one from the daughter of Babylon. And he shall come. From the rising of the sun shall he call upon my name. Because he gets up in the morning, turning toward Jerusalem, calling on Yah, praying to Yah, right? And he shall come upon princes or kings like upon mortar, and as the potter treads clay. That's what you see in the 52nd chapter. You shall have back in. The monarchies had to be sprinkled with the publication, right? Who have declared from the beginning that we may know. Right? Because this has been fulfilled now. That was fulfilled back in September 2004, right? And before time that we may say he is righteous. Huh? Yes, there is none that shows. Yes, there is none that declares. Yes, there is none that hears your words. Talking about all these idols and idolaters, right? Now, this is where I came here to answer your question, Yahshua, about the brothers in the land. You understand? Now check it. The first, that's the Demona movement, Sodom and her daughters, right? The first shall say to Zion, behold, behold them. That's when the movement of the Most High is brought back, lifted up, exalted, with the whole world, everybody on the earth watching it. Because it's being brought back by the elite of the earth. Yeshaya chapter 60, when it said, the king shall come to the brightness of thy rising. Yeshaya 49, the kings and queens going to be thy nursing fathers and nursing mothers. We're going to suck the breast of kings and queens, right? They titty in our mouth. You understand? They're going to be feeding us. This is because their fear of Yah. That's why they had to be sprinkled, right? That's what Yah just said when he said, you understand, he raised up one from the north, and he shall bring them upon princes or kings, same thing, like the potter treads clay. Because once they were sprinkled with that publication, then the spirit of Yah started shaping and molding them for the time to come. Like I said, that was done in September 2004. Now, in Yah's name, you understand, under the banner that Yah said it would be. You see, they had to bear witness and substantiate all of this, right? That's why he said, who have declared from the beginning that we may know, and before time that we may say he is righteous. See, Yah said this, Yeshaya, we know he prophesied what? Basically in the 8th century BC, that's the 700s, right? Now, how long ago was that? We in 2022 CEAD, so we're talking well over 2,700 years ago, right? You follow what I'm saying? That Yah declared this, and it just was fulfilled in 2004, right? You follow me? So now, he said, yes, there is none that shows. Yes, there is none that declares. Yes, there is none that hears your word. Verse 27, the first shall say to Zion, behold, behold them. Now, the first one Yah brought back when you go to Ezekiel 16, right? And you see it in this book, 48th chapter, Yeshaya, the first 10 verses. But you definitely see it in Ezekiel 16, with Sodom and her daughters. They were the first ones Yah brought back to their former state, correct? So that's what it's saying. The first shall say to Zion, behold, behold. Now that's when the Jerusalem movement is brought back. Those are the Sodom and Gomorrah movement, the Demona movement. They're going to be like, man, look at that. You follow what I'm saying? Check it. And I will give to Jerusalem one that brings good tidings. Well, that's the messenger, right? That's the governor. That's the seed of David. That's the stone cut out without hands, right? For I beheld, and there was no man even among them. Who was among them? That's in reference to the first, Sodom and her daughters, right? There was no man, there was no counselor that when I asked of them could answer a word. So to answer your question, no, it ain't nobody of them or in the land, as I said in the past, that's about Yah now. None of them understand. And Yah is telling us they still don't understand. Now, they've been listening and checking. You understand what I'm saying? But they still don't understand yet. They're not going to truly understand until the movement is brought back. You follow what I'm saying? In the sight of everybody on the earth. Yeshua chapter 52. And that's when, and the way it's brought back, that's what's going to make those of the Sodom and the Gomorrah, the Gomorrah movement, they're going to like, man, look at that. Behold them, right? See? And y'all said there wasn't nobody among them when this happens, and this hasn't happened yet, that can answer a word, right? Behold, they are all vanity. Their works are nothing. Their molten images are wind and confusion. Okay? So nobody in the land right now that's about y'all that understands. No matter what they say. Like I said, what was it, the last session? And I mentioned it in the past here a few years, when, what, a couple years or so ago, when Yadida was still with the movement, and she hit me, showed, to this, and Yada went to it, brought it up about this brother over there in the land. Like I said, it was all desert and whatnot. He was down there around a rod, it looked like. I mean, it was dry as a bone. And he talking about it's not supposed to be anybody at the head of the table, it's supposed to be a round table. Right? You follow me? Where you get a bunch of bickering and, nonsensical nonsense. You follow me? And as I said in response to that, back then, as I said here, I think last session I mentioned it, Yah's at the head of the table all the time. And that should be apparent. Isn't that what we see in Proverbs chapter 3? We acknowledge Yah in all our ways. He what? He directs our path. Isn't that what Moshe said in Deuteronomy? This is not a vain or worthless thing to you, O Israel. This is your wisdom and understanding inside these nations. What was he referring to? The law. And when we go to the law, we go into Yah. And anything we don't understand of the law, we pray. We take it to Yah. Simple as that. As we see in the book, and I've denoted this time and again, when our forefathers didn't do that, they got in trouble. It's just like, you understand, I think I said last session, or session before last, right? After Solomon, the only governor that Yah raised up was Yosha. All the rest of the governors were chosen by the people because they was the oldest son or whatever, right? The people never went to Yah and said who should be governor, right? Like I say, after Solomon, the only governor Yah chose was Yosha. That's it. You follow me? So look how much trouble they had. You understand what I mean? Starting with Rehoboam. I mean, we know that's because of what Solomon did, right? Which again, Solomon tells us, he wanted to see what folly was. And he saw. And he writes about it in Ecclesiastes, right? Like he said, what's the conclusion of the matter? Fear Yah, keep his commandments. That's the whole duty of man. Simple as that. Now, what did he say? He knew it would be well with the righteous. Okay? Solomon said, he knew it would be well with the righteous. Right? I mean, like his father, Dawid wrote in the 37th Psalm, envy not how's it go? Envy not the oppressor, fret not thyself because of evildoers. For those who look like they prospering in their way. What did David say? He looked and saw the wicked spread themselves like a green bay tree. He looked away for a moment, and when he looked back, they was gone, couldn't be found. Follow what I'm saying? So again, David is basically saying the same thing that Solomon said in Ecclesiastes. Just keep your mind stayed on Yah, like it says in Yeshaya, right? Those of us who keep our mind stayed on Yah, he keeps us in perfect peace. You follow me? Because when we get our mind stayed on Yah, it blocks out all the nonsense. Like I said earlier, it's times when I've been depressed over the years at different times. I go into the book, and wherever I open up the book, that's where I'm supposed to be. I start reading, and man, you understand what I mean? I'm reading and focused in on that. And when I come up for air, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm better. He's renewed me. See, he's renewed me by his spirit. I know I'm not the only one this has happened to. I know that. Okay? See, Because again, we do what? We testify. Huh? We testify. See? Because we've substantiated that Yah is the Most High within ourselves from things that, once you turn to Yah with all your heart and soul and give yourself to Him, He going to substantiate that He's the creator to you. He going to let you see that and know that and understand that. See? Over a period of time, all you got to do is totally commit and submit. Like I said in the past, back there in January 83, when Azariah said what he said to me, Virgin, when he said what he said to me, he had his ulterior motives for why he said what he said. But what he said was the truth. Okay? What he said was the truth. And I could really see it. Okay? And then I knew what I had to do. I still was holding on to the ways of the heathen. You understand? I knew it was some things I had to, let go of. See, but again, those was dealing with economics. As I've said in the past, that was one of the idols in my heart, was economics, because I had always been faced with that and told. I mean, even in school, I remember this teacher we had. He was real cool. His name was Mr. Thompson, and he told all of us, our class of '68. He said, and this is before we graduated. This is maybe about 2 years prior, when we were sophomores or juniors. Might have been when we was juniors. He said to our class, the whole graduation, he said, y'all got to get ready to deal with this computerization. He said, because computerization is coming in, and you're going to have to be ready to deal with it. Okay? And like I said, I had a job in 1971, 72, dealing with, matter of fact, 72, I think it was 71, 72, dealing with computers. It was called the CRT machine. And I hated it. Okay? The only reason I took the course, because, they told me I was going to be making like $145 a week. That was a lot of money back then. You understand what I mean? It's right around the time of the taking the gold back in from the dollar, right? But that was still, nice piece of money, $145 a week. And because I had a job that, dealing with some other computer, in this computer in another area that I wanted to get away from where I was, and it was going to be paying me like $108, $7, $8, something like that a week. And I was going to take that because at that time I was only making like $98. You follow what I'm saying? A week. And because I wanted to get away from where I was. But then when they saw that I had taken this test, and they told me I scored the highest on this test of anybody who had ever taken it. That's what they told me. I don't know if that was game, but that's what they told me. And so they said, we don't want you to leave. We want you to stay here. We're going to have this computer class that we setting up. And if you go through it, you'll be, at the end, you'll be making $145 a week. And I said, okay, because money was what I'm looking for. You follow what I'm saying? So I went into the class, stayed there, came through the class. I was the only male in it. The rest was women. And we were dealing with this CRT machine, because it was with Blue Cross Blue Shield, dealing with insurance claims. Man, I hated it. I hated it. All right. You talk about tiresome and tedious and just boring and sedentary too, right? But when we came out of the class and I got my first check dealing with, doing this, it was like $108, $9, something like that. And I went to my boss, I said, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be getting $145. They said, well, Nixon got the wage freeze on. We can only, bring you up in 10% increments. Okay? I was like, what? Okay? And like, you got to work so long before you get to that $145 because Nixon got the wage freeze on. I was like, man, and listen, I hated Nixon. I hated Richard Nixon from then on, okay? You know what I'm saying? So, I was about money. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always faced with that. I mean, every time you turn, it's more money, more money. To get my own place, you had to be making a certain amount of money to pay the rent, pay the bills. You know what I mean? Because I left the house when I was 20, I was determined to have my own apartment, you know, before I was 21. And I left and got my own place. You talking about, you understand what I'm saying? Making every penny count. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And this is what also brought me back into the hustling game. You follow what I'm saying? To make extra money. And so, you know, I didn't realize it and really see myself until, you know, Azari said that to me in January '83. And then I knew all this time that I've been in the book, and I had been in the book a little over 9 years. You know, like 9 years and 3 months. You know, 3 to 4 months. And I'm like, you know, yeah, I got to let this stuff go. You know what I'm saying? I got to really submit. I got to really put my trust in the Most High. You know, He the Most High. He can take care of me. He's going to provide for me. Like I just read in 59, Yeshaya, right? But it took me that long to truly understand that. And I had to have enough grasp of the book. You follow what I'm saying? To where I could see myself really clear in what I had been doing. And so, you know, then it took me already to October of '83, 10 years, you know, from October '73 to October '83 to totally understand I had to totally submit and commit. And then I said, okay, here I go. You know what I'm saying? As I said in the past, I characterized it, you know, like I jumped off a 10-story building and was headed for the cement sidewalk and was hoping that the Creator would put a net out and catch me before I splattered all over the sidewalk. And He caught me, you know what I mean? And he's you know, kept me all these years. And here I am. Here we are. Here, you know, like I said earlier, you know, in the session, when my guy at the time, you know, over his grandmother's house in like July, August of '92, and his grandmother said, what are you doing? When I told her, and, you know, she looked at her daughter and said, he ain't gonna never find a wife. And I laughed, and her daughter was like, you know, the mama didn't mean. I said, hey, I'm not upset about that. She said, you're not? I said, no. You know why? She said, no. I said, cause y'all heard it. See? And then in November, you know, met Yada. I really met her. I didn't recognize her. I had met her before. I didn't recognize her, right? At first, because she had her hair different. But, you know, and here she is sitting right here. You know, and again, the first time I met her at the car wash, this was like in '90, right? And I spoke to her, and she looked around at me and said, you don't know me. and finished vacuuming her car, got in her car, and drove out. And when she was driving out, I said, well, I'll never see her again. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, a little over 2 years later, we met. I didn't even recognize her. I didn't recognize her until, I don't know, about a couple of weeks after we had really met and started seeing each other. And I took her because I had picked her up after work and took her to dinner. And then when we came back, I had to take her to her car because she was parked in the train lot out in the suburb where she lived. And when we pulled into the lot, it was only about 3 cars, and hers was one of them. And I pulled right up to her car with the lights, and she got out, went and got in her car. And when I saw her get in the car, and I said, that's the same sister 2 years ago. I said, that's her. And when we got to her house, I told her, I said, you know, you don't remember. She been telling me ever since that wasn't me. You know, when I told her, you told me, you know, you said to me, I don't know you. She said, that wasn't me. You know? Okay. But here she is. You know what I'm saying? Just goes to show you how wrong you can be. You understand? Because like y'all said, who can declare the end at the beginning? You follow what I'm saying? But hey, you put your trust in Yah, and as long as you keep Yah in front of you and put all your faith in Yah, you can never go wrong when you do that. Never. Simple as that. But you got to be totally committed and submitted. You got to be in the process of doing that, and then at some point, he's going to let you know where you off here or there, and then you've got to, all right, embrace that, submit to it. See, that's what's wrong with so many people. When it's brought to them about things that they're doing that's incorrect, they reject. They immediately throw up this opposition. Just like I just talked about the chicken, you know, over there in Kuala Lumpur. Right, you understand? The Singapore, Malaysia, you understand? They talk about them, not Singapore, but Malaysia, you know, about the chickens. They should be eating chicken anyway. Because it's a hybrid, it's unclean. Now you tell you got plenty of Israelites who know they're Israel right now. They eating chicken and turkey. Huh? They drinking cow's milk. Huh? They eating beef products. And we've talked about these things. You follow what I'm saying? Yah has revealed those things through this movement and a preponderance of other things. I ain't taking credit for it. You follow what I'm saying? This is Yah. And this is, you know, just like I did, as I said in the past, we didn't find out about the honey till what, about 8 years ago? And Yah brought that through a person's not even with the movement anymore. Left the movement. Got, you know, full of himself and got ahead of Yah, still ahead of Yah. You understand? I've been told he's acknowledging that now, but it don't mean anything to me. Because I ain't heard, that's just what I was told. You follow what I'm saying? But the deal is, you got people who refuse to see, refuse to acknowledge. Like I said about, you know, the brother who, you know, about 12 years ago, we sitting out there at the concert, and him and I were talking, and he put some buttons on me, and I was boom, 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 because he, you know, like I said, this is the same brother back in 1974 that I told, I said, yeah, I'm reading the Bible. He kind of smirked. He said, kind of, you know, smirked, kind of laughed. He said, you know, from what I understand, anybody fooling with that Bible make a fool out you, right? Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? But you know, he goes into the site now and listens. I know he does, cause Yada has told me. She said, you know, when he's around you, he like acts funny. I said, cause he don't see, you know what I mean? Cause little bit of light gets through on him. You follow what I'm saying? But he can't put it together because, you know, he all about getting money and he into JC. Like most folks, you know, whether they say it or not, or they into some forms of idolatries. You see, so they're turned back. They can't put it together. They can't understand. Huh? You follow me? And unless you're totally committed and submitted to Yah, and you've turned to Yah with a whole heart and soul, and every fiber of your being, even then, it's Yeshua chapter 28, it's line upon line, precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little, huh? And sometimes you get snared, you think it's going to be one way, or you think it's a certain way, and then at some point, Yah shows you that it's not. That's happened to all of us, right? But the deal is, when he shows you that what you thought was true is not true, you have to acknowledge. And that's what I see so many refuse to do. See, they want to stand in some kind of recalcitrant stubbornness, huh? And that's pride. And what does Solomon tell us in Proverbs? Pride goeth before a fall. Simple as that. You follow me? You know, so you know, I just had a brother just ask me here, you know, the other week. He like, he said, do we have to be circumcised? Because he was telling me he's not. I said, absolutely, you got to be circumcised. Okay, I said, that's the covenant. You follow me? Then he wanted to know, he said, well, what is that, some kind of unclean? I said, yeah, it's definitely unclean. Okay, it's definitely unclean. You follow me? Because if a male has not been circumcised, you know, up under that skin, on the tip of his penis, germs, just like germs under the woman's nails that's real long, a man's nails, germs can be up on the man if he don't keep them clean. See what I'm saying? So we got to be clean. We can't allow dirt and germs to be up under our nails. We can't not be circumcised, right? Because when the man's not circumcised, germs and stuff gonna be up under that skin that, you understand, rolls back when he gets an erection. It's unclean. That's a covenant, an everlasting covenant. You follow me? I mean, Abram was what? He was up in age when he circumcised himself. When y'all made that covenant, Abram, I don't remember how old he was. If some of y'all know, I don't even know if it says, but he was up in age. Because matter of fact, Isaac was born, so he was like over 100 when he circumcised himself. You understand what I mean? Circumcised Ishmael, circumcised Isaac. Abram was up in age, right? So when, you know, you got some of these guys, you know, they in their 40s or 60s or 50s, and they realize they got to get circumcised. Man, yeah, hey, you got to get circumcised. There is no equivocation about that. Once Yah shows us what we have to do, we got to do it. It ain't no ifs, ands, and buts or maybes. We got to do it. Simple as that. If you want Yah to be your strength and shield, if you want Yah to be your endless reservoir of zeal, spirit, huh? Again, who is he? He's the founder of living waters, huh? An endless reservoir of strength, salvation. That's Yah of hosts. What does he say? You know, the horses can't run with him. You know, he said even the horses get tired and wear out, huh? By their great strength that he's given them. You can't keep up with, you know, you can't outdistance Yah. You can't outpower him. You can't outthink him. He's infinity. See? So, you know, the quicker one understands that, the better off they're going to be and submits to it and embraces it. What's next? Okay, YHWH 1955. You say the reason I asked is which out of Yahweh is going to put the fire on Esau in the name of Yah. In my mind, I guess Yah is keeping them quite quiet until the last moment. Well, again, we know it has to be descendants out of Ephraim and Manasseh. Okay, we know that from what it says in the one chapter about it. They're the flame. The fire, right, is the house of David. You know, Esau stuck Jacob there, but that's the house of David. That's the messenger. He brings the fire, because the word is fire. You understand what I'm saying? That's why so many, and I know many of you, if not all of you, have experienced this. You follow me? People, I've seen the word clear out a room, literally. Okay? I've mentioned it in the past. I was at a party at my guy's house years ago, and I hadn't seen a lot of these people in a long time, because I had been basically, you know, people, you know, they wasn't looking for me, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in the book, right? All right. So this was 87. And my guy had got a house, so he was having a housewarming. So he called and told me, man, come on through, you know, having a housewarming Saturday night. So I'm like, yeah, okay. You know, it was the fall, like, you know, so it got dark kind of early. And then I went over there. People was there. And so it was this brother I hadn't seen in years. You know, he used to rip and run in the street, you know. And I hadn't seen him in years. And he said, hey, man, what's going on? I said, hey, man. So we got to talking. And most of the people, you know, big party, you know, they was all downstairs in the basement, you know, and you know, he had a finished basement and everything. They was down there partying, dancing. So him and I, we had come up to the kitchen. And it was just the two of us sitting in the kitchen. And he started pushing buttons. Man, what you been up to? Boom, 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 boom. And so I got to telling him. And he was listening, right? And we was talking. And all of a sudden, you know, as time, you know, kept on, it seemed like mostly all the people, or plenty of people, came up into the kitchen. The kitchen was packed. And then you know how people come up in there and they eating and how they listening, you know, they see us talking and their ears over in the conversation and they hear what I'm saying. And after it wasn't long, next thing you know, it was just like when we first started talking. Cleared out the whole kitchen. They all went further up in the front or down and back down in the basement. You follow what I'm saying? Because they heard what was being said. So the word is fire. It's like I told you about the brother, you know, when we went to the concert and he's pushing buttons on me. Same brother in 74 that, you know, told me here that Bible make a fool out of you. Well, that was in 74 when he said that to me. All right, well, this is like 2011 or 2012, right? Right around in there, we went to the concert. So we all sitting out there listening to the music. And so he put some buttons on me and we was talking. You know, and I'm hitting him with this stuff and he listening. And then after a while, you know, he said, I'll be back in a minute. So he got up and his wife looked around and she was looking. She said, you so gloomy. Okay. But again, what do you think she might be thinking now? Huh? You follow me? when she take that Lexus, because she got a Lexus SUV, a new one. He told me last time he was over here other month. You understand? Because he got a new one. You follow me? And when she got to pull up in the gas station, I know them Lexus SUVs only take premium. I'm pretty sure they might can get away with the, you know, mid grade or something. But even if it's you know, regular, it's still gonna be over $5. You follow what I'm saying? And more than likely they taking premium, so that's gonna be up to $6 or better, huh? When she go to the food market, cause she cooks, she go there and buy that food, and she see, you know, like a brother that's in the room right now. You understand what I'm saying? He called here a few here the other month. He like, you, we was talking, and he said, you, my wife, we went and bought a standing rib roast. It was $82 and something cents. He didn't tell me how big it was. Okay, but he's like, it's usually around 60 something dollars. It was $82, so it's about $20 more. Like I said, when I went by my guys last month, right? Before I went there, I stopped about toilet paper, paper towel, Kleenex for the house, right? Because I like to keep it stashed, because, you know, I don't like that inferior toilet paper and paper towels and stuff, right? And so, you know, I get Charmin and, you know, the best, you know what I'm saying? And a 12-pack roll of that Charmin was $20, okay? For toilet paper. You follow what I'm saying? See, and it's gonna get higher than that. Everything is going up because the dollar is collapsing. Like I said, we in a recession. They just don't talk about it, but they try to tell everybody the economy is doing great, there's jobs and this and all. That's a bunch of baloney. Okay? And the reason why they got jobs out here that's not fulfilled, because when you go to apply for that job, on the back end of that, you can qualify across the board and everything. But on the back end of that, they're going to tell you, you got to take that shot. And like Rivka just put up earlier, I know all of you, if you didn't see it, I'm going to tell you again what she put up. And you can bring it up. You go into the site. You understand? She said that Henry Maycow is some site he got to put out there that Pfizer shot is causing the side effects from the Pfizer shot is causing the monkeypox. Now, lesions popping up on a person's body. That's the side effect. It might not happen to everybody, but that's what's causing. And this is what Henry Maycow has put out. And for those of you again who remember, you understand that response by Jacob the Rothschild that I read earlier in the year, read last year, to Henry Maycow. Right? What Henry Maycow had put out. You follow me? See? And I figured that this was from the shots. That's why I said when I read that in this session about, you know, what they talk about, what causes monkeypox, it coming from animals and jumping to human beings. That's a bunch of garbage. Ain't nothing jumping to no human beings from no animals. Think about that. How long man been on this earth? 6,000 to 7,000 years? Ain't nothing jumping from no animals to no human being. You know, when those animals, when them cows and different animals get that hoof and mouth, that don't go to the human beings. When these steers and oxen, you know, get that hoof and mouth disease, sheep and goats or whatever, and don't jump to no human beings. See, this is Esau and the Skull and Bone Boys, and they garbage that they putting in these shots. Simple as that. They attacking. Okay? They are attacking. They don't need human beings, and they want to kill us. Those of us who are about Yah, they want to kill us. Israel, they want to kill. Like I said in the past, the same mindset they had in the book of Hadassah Esther is the same mindset they got now. Let's kill them all. See, the only difference now, they don't have to go to the king because they got the dominion. See, but the deal is they dealing with the king. Okay? The true king. And that's why it's so imperative that those of us who have sought Yah out and turned to him, we stay turned. Again, not partially, not 50%, not 99%, but 100%. Constantly. We keep our minds stayed on Yah. He keeps us in perfect peace. See? You understand? I know is, you know, again, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't any of us that's about Yah that was out on the Sabbath day going to Tops Market where we could get shot, right? You follow what I'm saying? Wasn't any of us that was in, what was that, Las Vegas a few years ago and did all the shooting? Wasn't no Israelites that's about Yah that got caught up into that. See? Because Yah watches out after us. You follow me? Like I just said to a brother this past weekend. You follow me? Because he really is trying to do something. He really wants it. And I listened to him and I told him, I said, look, it might not happen. You follow me? Because he knows we Israel. He's in pursuit. But I told him it might not happen. And if it doesn't happen, don't let that throw you. Because sometimes you can want something so bad, as I said in the past. I want something, I pray to Yah for it. If he gives it to me, Yah is great. If he doesn't, Yah is still great. It just means that, you know, I wasn't supposed to have it. Maybe I'm not never supposed to have it. Or maybe I'm just not supposed to have it when I wanted it. Because the worst thing can happen to someone is to get something that you want, but you're not ready to handle. Like giving a loaded pistol to a 2-year-old. What's next? And again, for you, those of you who might not be actually in the room, on the stream, roll it back. Rivka has put up monkey virus as a Pfizer vax side effect. And this is from Henry Makow, M-A-K-O-W, Henry Makow's site. Autoimmune blistering disease, AIBD, in parentheses, autoimmune blistering disease is an adverse reaction to the Pfizer vaccine. It's on page 2 of the Pfizer data drop. Okay? And you want to look this up. gab.com /Bainbridge 5/4/108393839226005505. I'm going to give you that one more time. 1083-938-3922-6005505. If you want to read it for yourself. What's next? Okay, Zioniah, you say all the photos they are using to show monkeypox are of brown people. Yeah, why not? That's who they really want to get rid of us. Okay. Zakiya, peace to you and Benaiah. Rise of the Planet of the Apes movie from 2011 alludes to monkeypox experiments. Hey, okay? So they trying to, again, set the narrative to make us think it's coming from apes or something. You know what I mean? That's Esau. Huh? Always trying to set the narrative. Always going to try to control, you understand, what you think and to make you think what they want you to think. See, like I said, with this Grand Theft Auto, got a lot of these young Israelite brothers running out here with a gun, 11 years old, 13 years old. And when I say that, that is not exaggeration. They have caught some here in Chicago, 11 years old, 13 years old, carjacking with a pistol. See, and their minds have been shaped and formed by Grand Theft Auto. You understand? A digital game or whatever that garbage is. What's next? Okay, so y'all see that Zioniah put up in Genesis 17:24. Abram was 99 years old when he was circumcised. Okay? Now, you follow me? So I don't want to hear no brother talking about, okay, he too old, all right? You understand what I mean? Abram was 99 when he got circumcised. Simple as that. And I don't care if you're 199. You know you need to be circumcised. You got to get circumcised. Period. Okay. Okay, according to Leviticus 23, 24, 27, the celebration consisted of the blowing of the trumpets, a time of rest, and an offering made by fire. Yeah, but Kavaya was talking about in relationship to when Israel entered in with the covenant with Yah over in Exodus. And she was saying, she was thinking that that was the reason why you got that blowing of the trumpets on the first day of the month, of the 7th month. Okay, but again, you know, as we saw, this blowing of the trumpet to get the people to come to the mountain, you know, and Yah came down on the mountain and spoke to him out of the midst of the fire. That was 2 months. It was the 3rd month after they had come out of Egypt. So two to 3 months after they came out of Egypt. So again, the blowing of the trumpets on the first day of the 7th month. So that has nothing to do with that, right? Again, as I pointed out in Ezekiel chapter 46, when you read the first 3 verses, right? That 3rd verse tells you, again, the people can go make a petition and or vow to Yah every first day of every month. Okay? It's going to say new moon, but it's new month. That's the first day of the month. Remember, it's 13 months in a year, you know, the way our forefathers had. We got to remember that, too, when we read the book. Because when I was talking to Yaakov and Hadassah here the other month, you know, Yaakov brought that up again. You know, he's mentioned it in the past, but he brought it up again. You know, when we read the book, we got to remember it was 13-month calendar back then, not a 12-month calendar. You know, Esau going to have 12 in a lot of these places, dealing with the year, the months, but it was a 13-month calendar. Just like it's 13 tribes, you understand, in Yisrael. Okay? And again, you know, you understand, the Levites don't get any inheritance of land because Yah is their inheritance. But it's still 13 tribes. You know, that same brother that hung up on me here, you know, the weekend, and hung up on me before, he wanted to argue about that. He wanted to say it's 12 tribes. Okay? You know, he mentioned the gates. I has 12 names on the gates. You know, when it gets set back up, 12 names of the 12 tribes. I said, yeah, but it's Yahweh, his name is on one of the gates, bro. And he consists of 2 tribes. He got a double portion. So you take out the name of Yahweh and you add Ephraim and Manasseh, you got 13 tribes. You go to Ezekiel 48, but he wanted to argue about that. Okay, that Yoshi there. Yeah, Yoshi said the man killed in Buffalo that I was referring to was named Aaron Salter Jr., an ex-police officer. He was working on a water-powered car. It used water instead of gas. Oh, that's what you talk about. Oh, okay. I misunderstood you. It's using water to propel the car instead of gas. Oh, okay. They might have killed him. You know they don't want that. Now you know they don't want that. Okay? You follow me? Because again, with these electric cars, as I said in the past, right? You understand? They never talk about how much a new battery gonna cost, because you know batteries, you can only use them for so long, and pretty soon they won't take a charge, right? But they never talk about that. You understand what I'm saying? How long the life of a battery is in an electric car. They never talk about that. You follow me? And how much a new battery is gonna cost you. Because I figure they're gonna probably charge somebody maybe at least $5 grand for a new battery. Okay? Probably it might be more than that. And then it all depends on what kind of car you get. See? So you know. But hey, but you know what? I don't even think about that because I'm thinking we're gonna be gone. I'm ready to get out of here. I'm sick of all these cars and trucks and all of this mess. I'm ready to get home where I can walk every place I want to go. Okay? Where it won't be any cars, any trucks, anything like that. You follow what I'm saying? So, hey, because again, we got to be getting close. We got to be getting close. Just look at what's happening. Again, you read me chapter 30, verse 7. Alas, that day is great. It's even the time of Zion's trouble. But they're going to be saved out of it because all of us who have sought Yah out and turned to Yah and circumcised the foreskin of our heart to Yah with all our heart and soul, we totally committed and submitted. He's preparing us night and day. You follow what I'm saying? And when it's time, you understand? All who's ready, all who think they're ready, gonna want to leave up out of here. But as Yah has said in Ezekiel 20, verse 38, rebels and transgressors he purging out. And again, through the years, I've seen different people purged off of this path. and they leave on their own accord. They leave on their own accord. Just like when I mentioned Isaiah. Okay, I learned things through Isaiah. I learned things through Ben. Ben ain't even alive anymore. And Isaiah might as well not be. And I say that like that in accordance with Ezekiel chapter 18. Okay? And for you, those of you who, if you're not really understand, just go there and read what it says. Okay? Because like I said, I learned things through Isaiah. And that's back in 74, 75. You follow what I'm saying? 76. And then when Ben went to jail in December 82, and Isaiah called me in January 83, and I went over there. Now I knew what he wanted to study with me, because he knew I had learned things. Ben and I had learned things together that had superseded what he knew. Now he'd always looked at himself, prided himself in being smarter than Ben. And you understand? Because see, Ben never finished grammar school. You follow what I'm saying? He came out of Clarksdale, Mississippi. See, Isaiah, like I said in the past, Isaiah was school smart, because I saw him. He used to tutor guys that would come by his house in drafting. And Isaiah, he had that arrogance and pride. You follow me? That's why I didn't like him initially. You follow me? And I never did like that pride in him, because he never lost that. Okay? I mean, he was arrogant. Okay? But I saw him tutor guys. He was smart in the ways of the heathen. He was smart. Like it says in the book, what did David say in some of them Psalms? He dealt with people who was sharper than hedge thorns. Okay? And that's who, I come up around people like that. Because like I said, these guys were older than me. You follow me? And they were some sharper than headstone. Like I said, my guy I went to see last month, he was sharp. He took me up under his wing. He was sharp, down hustler. And these other guys is down hustlers. Okay? Flying under the radar. Like I said in the past, that's why, you understand, the illuminated Edomites, the Skull and Bone Boys, they knew these type of hustlers existed. That's why they came out with the cocaine, started making that prevalent, and then eventually came out with freebasing. And when they came out with that, that knocked off a lot of hustlers who was flying under the radar, making money. You understand what I'm saying? I seen some of them had safes full stacked with money. But when they brought that pipe out, it wiped out a lot of sisters, okay, who wouldn't smoke reefer, who wouldn't fool with no heroin. They would just, drink a little drink sometime. When they came out with that freebasing, wiped a lot of them out. Sisters who had become professionalized with professional jobs. Do you follow me? Wiped them out. They ended up being out here, whoring in the streets, looking like heck. Okay, lost all of their looks. And I'm not exaggerating. Here's sisters I knew who were beautiful. And they became totally racked smoking that pipe. That's why Esau and the Skull and Bone Boys brought that out. And it ravished our communities, and still doing it. Together with the heroin and now the marijuana. I know they making this marijuana super potent. Okay? So, like a brother said to me other weekend, he said, Israel, if I could, I'd take all the marijuana, all the heroin, all the cocaine, all the alcohol, put it on a big ship and take it out in the middle of the ocean and sink it. I said, I hear you, my man. Because he sees how devastating these drugs have been on man, but definitely on our community. See, it has destroyed so many in our community, and that's what it was for. It's just Yah that kept me from actually, being destroyed by it. Because I was in that life. And it's just Yah. I can't give no credit to nobody but Yah of hosts. See, simple as that. Because he's salvation. and he has saved me a number of times through the years, and as I know many of you he has saved, because I didn't talk to some of you, or many of you, and some of you have related that to me. So, different brothers been over in the war, been over in Iraq, been over in Afghanistan or something, and gotten shots and whatnot, and you come back messed up, but now you've turned to Yah, and Yah has cleansed you to the degree where different things that have happened to you, Yah has healed you to the degree, and gonna heal us all totally when we get home. The deal is we got to get home, and the only way we getting home with Yah, right? We got to be totally committed and submitted. Now, again, as I said time and again, those who don't, make this Jerusalem movement, you just got to go back in the oven. You just need some more cooking because you ain't ready yet. But if you don't make it with the Jerusalem movement, like Yah says over there in Yeremiah, right? Chapter 50, was it chapter 50, 51? I'll read it to you. Matter of fact, it's 51:50. That's what it is. You that have escaped the sword, go away, stand not still. Remember Yah afar off, and let YHWHrusalem come into your mind. Right? Because when you read verse 49, you see what it says, 51:49, you remember? As Babylon, he's talking about this daughter of Babylon, the United States of America. As Babylon has caused the slain of Israel to fall, so at Babylon shall fall the slain of all the earth. And when it says, as Babylon has caused the slain of Israel to fall, just think of the Breonna Taylors, huh? The Sandra Bland's, huh? The Oscar Grants, the Michael Browns, huh? The Michael Scotts, the Samuel DuBoses, the Trayvon Martins. I mean, I could go on and on and on. That's just the ones we know about. But it's millions and millions more who we don't know about. Now that's this daughter of Babylon. That's why it's got to get recompensed. That's why it's collapsing as I speak. And nothing's going to stop that. Simple as that. So all of this propaganda that you hear, America's doing great, economy's doing great, is just propaganda, lies and deception. Simple as that. And you're going to see it more and more as this unfolds, right before our eyes, as it's doing. Okay, and Rivka, I see what you say, because I saw where Tesla, they saying so many of these Tesla vehicles, they breaking, they breaking on their own. People don't even understand. They driving, all of a sudden it'll stop, it'll break. Okay, so sword on the chariots, huh? Prophecy being fulfilled every day, but who understands prophecy? Because like I said earlier, like my guy's wife, she said to me about 12 years ago out there at the park, you so gloomy. You follow me? But now, I'm sure she's seeing, this gloom. You know what I mean? All this stuff that's coming. See, because people, that's why people, a lot of people, they don't want to read newspapers. They don't want to look at the news. Because they say, what for? It's just so gloomy. I don't want to see all that. So they do their best to try to distract themselves, right? And that's why they listen to music all the time. That's why Esau got them with the smartphone. So I was telling y'all earlier, these people got their head buried in these phones all the time with the screen on. You know what I mean? And at night the screen lights up. You can see them. They be in cars. They walking down the street, and they got their head buried in the phone. That's why Esau as a distraction, huh? You follow what I'm saying? They listening to rap music. They listening to some kind of music. You follow what I'm saying? They don't want to really know what's really going on because it's distressing. See? And because they have no you understand, attachment to he who creates, they can't get substantiated by his spirit. They can't be strengthened by his spirit. So they don't want to know what's going on. They turn, as it says in the book, they turn the back and not the face. They refuse to hear. But they don't realize that all they're doing is setting themselves up, huh? You know, like I said in the past, what is that Jiffy Lube or whatever it is, that oil commercial, when they talk about the car, they say, you know, see me now, see me later. But you're going to have to come in at some point. If you don't do the things you need to do for this vehicle now, huh, it's going to start falling apart. So you're going to see me later with a much bigger problem. See, I mean, we listen to Lynette Zhang on TMI Metals, right? And she's saying all the time, you understand? Secure your assets. And that's how she said. You see what's the prefix to that? Secure your assets. She said, if you don't have it tangible in your hand, you don't have it. If you got it invested in some kind of paper form of assets, you don't have it. You follow me? She said that all the time. And the other day we was listening to it. She said, hey, if you haven't got your portfolio, yourself situated now, she said, you better hurry up. She said, because we already in it. The collapse. Now, and she ain't the only one. Peter Schiff, you know, Michael Hudson. We saw Michael Hudson. He, you know, they be having him on Peter Lavelle's show or something. We see him on RT, and Michael Hudson, he just be shaking his head. You know what I mean? Because you understand, they times when they brought Michael Hudson about that cryptocurrency, he shaking his head and they ain't going nowhere. Okay? That's not going anywhere. All right, so you know, it looks like everything, because y'all just giving me the wrap up sound because we're approaching 3 hours, but you know, she can reset it. But if y'all don't have anything else, we'll just call it a session. And again, stay focused. Okay? Read, study, pray, and do. Keep your mind stayed on Yah. Ain't nothing too hard for Yah. He's our salvation, and He alone. Not only our salvation, but any and everybody on the face of the earth, again, that, you know, are acceptable in His sight. So, for Yah righteousness, Jerusalem, and the Holy Seed, Yah bless everybody. Peace.